O Show. This is the Big 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 O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. You're tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins to the heat, well, you know what it means. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today. 786-802-1727 or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Boom, minute. Now let's see if we got it. Hold on. What we doing here? Let's see. We finning? We in? We out? Can you hear us? Anything? No? Yes? No? Maybe? Could be? Maybe? Huh? Damn it, I even, there we go. Let's see. Good morning, Big O. There we go, baby. Okay, we back. There we go. You all good now. All right, so there you go. Welcome aboard. Yes. I already pumped up the lungs for the opener, so that's it. It is what it is. I guess it'll go on the podcast, right? Is that what it is? Right. The open will go with the podcast. Anyway, so welcome aboard. We are at Caneswear out here in Davie, as we do it once a month out here. Brett and all the great people, and we'll have some fun. We'll talk all kinds of things. We got a bunch of guests. Omar Kelly will stop by at 12:15. Manny Navarro will stop by at 11:30. And, of course, Ira Winderman will stop by at 10:30. And great night for the Heat last night. That was sweet, man. They took care of business last night. So did the Panthers. I mean, the kid was outstanding. What do you have, like 87 saves yesterday or something? 45 saves for night yesterday. I mean, that was awesome. Spencer was on last night. It was fun. It's good for us that we had the Panthers in the Heat last night, because if you had to watch the Thursday night game, imagine that. Imagine if that was the only thing on last night for us South Florida sports fans. You're a Heat fan in Portland or in Malaysia or in Mexico or in Miami. You were better off watching that than watching, that damn football game last night. And, of course, if you're a Panthers fan anywhere around the world, you had a better opportunity to watch the Panthers than that stinking Thursday night game, because that was bad, man. I didn't really watch much of the game because, obviously, I was more focused on our local teams. It was just a much better watch I mean, the Wizards come in as the number one team, right? And not anymore. Now the Heat are the number one team. After that win, they've got the best record now at 11-5. And last night, Butler and the boys just got it done. And by the way, no Tyler Hero last night too. That was good because Gabe Vincent came off the bench, had a really nice night, shot 3 of 6 from 3-point range. PJ Tucker was also deadly. When we talk about 3 and D, okay, And we're talking about legitimate 3 and D. PJ Tucker is the definition of 3 and D when you talk about those kind of players. So that was good last night, and the Panthers obviously a 4-1 dominating win of the Devils, which was needed, by the way. They had to win that game. So we got a bunch of things to talk about today on the program. We got the Dolphins and the Jets. Remember, our third appearance of the week. Any other radio station do 3 live shows in a week out on the road? No, right? No. There is no. I mean, what do they do over there at that place? You know what I'm saying? So it's buffoonery. But anyway, so we are out here at Caneswear from 10 to 1. So come on out. You can hang out with us and meet the star that is Sean Stanley. Right? That's what it's all about. Brett Gittleman is out here also at Caneswear. All the great people, not that you want to see me, but everybody else is here. You can get hats like this. I got this. Didn't I buy this in the last trip I was here last month? Yeah, I bought this hat in last month, right? I love this hat. This is one of my favorite Dolphin hats of all time, man. It is such a groovy hat. But anyway, so join us for our third appearance of the week, and that's at Sports Grill, okay? On Bird Road at 11481 Southwest 40th Street, literally right off the turnpike in Bird Road, 3 blocks east. So please come on out and join us. We are 2-0 out there. So let's keep the undefeated streak going. You know, we're the Dolphins. We're about undefeated, right? So it's a new season at Bird Road, and we are 2-0. So come feel the vibe. Come taste the delicious wings. Watch Sean devour his own wings out there and join us for a post-game action. We'll have Flo's press conference. We'll have Tua's press conference. We'll cheer Tua on. We'll watch the team. We'll watch a defense that is playing absolutely lights out. So please come on down and join us this Sunday at Sports Grill in Bird Road in Miami at 11481 Southwest 40th Street. And our broadcast will start off at 11 a.m. I look forward to meeting you all out there and hanging out and talking throughout the game, take some pictures, whatever it is that we normally do when we're out there at Sports Grill. So come on out and join us, man. A lot of things to talk about. You know, last night I didn't talk about this much the last week. And I was invited to go, and I didn't go last night because I didn't, it's not my place. And, and they were really kind to me, all the guys at the U, and, whether it's Alonzo Highsmith or Mel Bratton or, all the different people that are Tolbert Bain, all these guys that are involved with everything that went on yesterday in their meeting. And, I wish them the best. I hope they're able to do something. I'm not necessarily, I got to be a little bit of a negative Nelly, if you want to look at it that way, because that's usually the way fans look at things. But I have, I'm one of those guys that's kind of I live in reality, and I know that NFL owners, I know how they treat players and where they want players to be in their place, where they belong. And they don't want them making any kind of decisions. And so I don't know if this administration is really going to allow the U in the door, the ex-U players, and I know their thoughts are, Gino Torretta and, Ed Reed and all these other guys that have been brought up to be the AD. And I don't think they'll do that either. I just kind of feel that they're not going to allow that to happen because that's usually what the administration does. They don't really allow players a voice, to be honest with you. And I respect what those guys did yesterday, last night, and I feel their passion because I feel all their pain because I'm a Canes fan too. I've been a Canes fan all my life. You know what I'm saying? I've been a Canes fan longer than most people that are Canes fans because, a lot of those players probably became Canes fans when they became Canes, and they weren't even from this part of the country. Whereas I'm born and raised here, man. Born in Belle Glade, raised in Miami all my life, and so I'm a Canes fan till I die, and I feel their pain. You know what I mean? I've been watching Canes and going to Canes games since the 70s. Before they were good, and then when they were great, and now that they're crappy, I've watched them all the way through and rooted for them. But I kind of live in the reality that I don't expect administration to build a bridge to the former players and give them a voice. I think in the administration's eyes, normally, and people like Julio Frank, that'll be disruptive to what they do. And even though, some of the stuff that they're talking about makes a lot of sense, you got to really have an AD that understands the community, that understands that the University of Miami is really a different monster than most schools. Because one, it's private, it's not public. So it's a different thing. I always laugh when people say, well, this on campus and all this kind of stuff. And, it's a small school, man. It's a private school. They don't have that many students. And a lot of their students, they don't even live in this country. They're coming here for the education. They're leaving. They're not going to live and breathe and eat and die Canes. And, I always laugh at people and say, well, you've got to be able to draw better. Well, the Canes aren't a normal university. They're not on campus. They're not a state school. They're not like FIU or FAU that can have a ginormous alumni base in South Florida. They just don't, because most of us working stiffs that live here in South Florida, and we are the dominant breed, we can't afford to take our kids to the University of Miami. The only reason my daughter had a semester in a medical program at the University of Miami, and she had a dorm and everything. They gave her a dorm and everything for a semester. And the only reason she was able to do that is because she had a 5.1 GPA. They gave it to her. It's a scholarship she earned, not because I can afford it, not because my wife, who's a teacher, can afford it. We do enough to keep our heads above water. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those deals where I just, it's a different school. It's a different atmosphere. It's treated like a pro team. You got to win in order to draw. You got to win in order to support. You got to entertain in order to have a crowd. They'll tune you out here in South Florida because that's just the way it is. We actually have very smart sports consumers in South Florida. People say, well, no, it's a fair-weathered town. No, you can call it fair weather all you want, dude. But if you suck, why should you go? Why should you go see a bad hockey team? Why should you go see a bad football team? Why should you go see a bad baseball team? In South Florida? Are you kidding me? If there's a bad team, why am I going to go there? I'll go to the Hard Rock and gamble for the night and have a great meal with the wife at a restaurant. I'll go to if I'm not a club guy, but some of you can go to a club, go hang out, have some, dance a little bit, have a couple drinks, have a good night, go to a concert. Tonight, maybe a little Nitzer Ebb. Anybody doing a little Nitzer Ebb tonight? Huh? At Respectable Street there in West Palm Beach? Where is the youth? Anyway, so there's a lot of entertainment, right? So if a bad baseball team is playing tonight, hell no, dude, I'm going to drive up to Respectable Street and I'll go see Nitzer Ebb, man. That's it. And I'll be in the crowd going, shout, go to shout, lift up your hearts. I lost like 99% of you. Okay, most of you have no idea what Nitzer Ebb is. Anyway, so our music, what's it called? Taste is it's all over the place. But that's the example right there. There's a crappy team in town. I'm not just going to buy the tickets just because I'm a hometown fan. No, dude. I'll go to Las Olas and hang out and have a great time. I'll go with the fellas to a cigar bar, sit down, enjoy a cigar, talk about sports, watch something on television, BS. I can have a great night. I could come up with so many different ways in South Florida to have a great night. Sometimes me and the wife, we like to go down to Isla Morada. And I believe it's called the Isla Morada Fish company? Oh, it is, right? Fish company. You know what I'm talking about with the sharks and everything? Yeah, nice job. Nice job by you. Way to go. So they have a nice little restaurant there. The sun sets there. So sometimes we'll drive right to Isla go right there to the Isla fish thing, go see the people feeding the sharks, whatever, have a nice dinner, watch the sunset, and then, cruise back home. Nice and easy. No rush, no nothing. A Keys cruise. You know how it is in the Keys. So there's so many things I can do. You know what I mean? I know South Florida so well. I'm born and raised here. And me, I don't mind driving. Like sometimes I'll take an afternoon and I'll go with the wife and we'll go up to West Palm and we'll walk around Worth Avenue and all that little, in Palm Beach. Not that we end up buying anything because it's too damn expensive. It's a little bit out of our reach, but it's fun to go to that little Rodeo Drive that they have there. You know what I mean? And then maybe we go over to the Breakers and eat in that I forgot the name of the restaurant in the back with the it's right on the water. I forgot. But, there's so many things that I can think of to do that I don't have to go see a crappy team. So our consumers in South Florida are really smart. Why? Because, dude, we're not stuck in Wisconsin. Sorry, Wisconsin. I apologize. But, I get it. Badgers and Packers and I don't know what else you got. You know what I'm saying? And it's not that I'm trying to make light or fun of any other part of the country, but I'm just saying it's a different lifestyle here, and you got to earn it. And the Canes haven't earned it. And that's why, I never complain about you want attendance, do your part. That's what I always tell a sports team in town. Do your part, man. If you don't entertain, how do you expect to have, the stadium full? And so you've got to understand this town if you're an athletic director. And I do understand the players saying, hey, we need a guy that, and there's no doubt that a Gino Toretto is going to understand it, but he's never been an athletic director. So then that becomes a whole different challenge. And Gino literally has to have no life. Like when you take over that athletic director's job, you're at functions almost every day, 4 or 5 times a week, and you're at all kinds of fundraising functions, and you're constantly meeting with boosters and all kinds of stuff, and you're shaking hands and kissing babies, as they say, on a consistent basis. It's not just, hey, I'll find a head coach and then I'll sit in the club seat and watch everything from there, and that's it. My job is done. No, dude, you got to then worry about the crew, and you got to worry about the basketball team, women's and men's, and you got to worry about the tennis team and replace that coach and this coach, and it's a hell of a job. It's not an easy thing. You have to worry about all teams, like the ones you guys don't even care about. Like you don't talk about swimming or tennis or golf or crew. You're not talking about any of that stuff, right? He has to worry about all of that stuff. It's he or she, whoever the athletic director is. And that's a different monster. You know what I'm saying? So that part is the part that maybe the players also don't look at. That, yeah, you've got to worry about the football team, but yeah, you got to worry about all the other, entities that are involved in the athletic program, whether they produce money or they don't, by the way. Okay, which we know 99% of the sports don't produce any money. It's really only football that produces money. I don't even know if basketball should cut a profit only because of the ACC check. It has to. Yeah, right. The tournament. But what I'm saying is their ACC television check should cover it at least. They can't be cut. Now baseball, I don't know if it cuts a profit, and then everything else, I know women's basketball, everything else is not cutting a profit. Okay, that's for sure. But it's a huge job. I just don't expect them to go in the former player direction. I really don't. And that's, last night I was I decided not to go because why am I going to go? What am I going to do there? I'm just going to stand there and listen to them talk and all that, and And I'm not really I'm not really there to talk. You know what I mean? They kind of told me, "Hey man, you can come join us, whatever." And I'm like, it's not really my place. You know what I mean? And sometimes I might be a little too brutally honest, even for them at times. And I know that it wasn't about, hey, let's go and fry the university and let's kill Blake James and all that kind of stuff. It's more about trying to find a solution. And I don't know if they'll be able to find the solution. The question is, will they be included in it, or is it going to be just a token type thing that, okay, well, okay, we hear you guys. All right, thank you for your input. Appreciate it. Now we're going to go about making our own decision. And I think that's probably what's going to end up happening in that situation. Folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. It is incredibly important that you smash the hell out of that like button. We need it big time. Let's see. Jamie Zorria is in. Says, good morning, Fins Nation from San Jose, California. Another beautiful Friday morning. I wish I could make it to MetLife Takeover, but I will be supporting I will be supporting my Fins nonetheless. There you go. Let's see. Thomas says, happy Friday. Great wins by Heat and Panthers. Time to start a run of 7 in a row this Sunday. Not afraid or of even one single QB that we have to face. Thomas, it would be 9 in a row. Remember, they've already won 2. Fred Davis says, selling my stocks, jumping into crypto. Okay, Fred, make sure you do your homework and what you do. I know the stock market is tough. Crypto market is, I think, better than the stock market, but that's just me. I just think you can take advantage a little bit more in the crypto market. How did we lose to the awful Falcons? Because our coaching staff is just as bad. That's why the offensive coaching staff for the Dolphins is maybe the worst offensive coaching staff they've ever had. Ethereum to the moon. Yes, Ethereum will be climbing tons, dude. It's Ethereum. Wait till they add ETH2 next year. Remember, layer 2's coming. So once they add the layer 2 next year with ETH2, and then they're complete, and then they're able to shard, and they're able to have more transactions per second, then that's going to allow the ecosystem to grow more. And they're already killing it with the smart contracts. But more importantly, once they add the layer 2 on their blockchain, then the transaction fees are going to plummet. And that's what it's amazing that ETH is a monster considering how much the gas fees are. I mean, the gas fees are ridiculous. I wanted to buy some Cadena on KuCoin, and so I was going to transfer some money over. I mean, I'll tell you, I was going to transfer $200 over, right? And I was being charged like $40. So I would have had to buy $160 of Cadena by transferring $200. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not paying those gas fees, because then that takes away from my profit, because then I'm not really getting the coin at this price. I have to add $40. Kudos to OK Coin. They just charge you 99 cents for any transaction, dude. You buy $100, 99 cents. You buy $25, 99 cents. You buy $1,000, 99 cents. I mean, they just charge you a flat rate. Boom, you're done. Cheapest rates. At least they don't kill you on it. But transferring money on the blockchain right now is expensive. And it doesn't matter. Look, if you're buying a $5,000 NFT and you got to pay $30 of a gas fee, you don't care. Because if you're paying $5,000, what the hell's the difference between $5,000 and $5,030? Correct? I mean, it's just, but if you're transferring, $200, you don't want to pay $40 to transfer $200, So, and ETH is still a monster. So all these smart contracts and everything that's going through, they're paying high gas fees. So when they add layer 2 to Ethereum next year, I mean, it's going to just blow up. And it's already blown up. It's already going to hit 5,000 soon. It'll be, I believe, by the end of December, it'll be over $7,000. A lot of people had 10. I told you 6 months ago, it'll be a 5 to 7. And it's going to already get to 5. I think it'll get to 7. So Ethereum is a great investment down the line. Yes, I'm with you there, man. Just be careful, folks. Remember, do your homework. Read up on all of this. Find out the difference, okay? All right? It's, proof of work, proof of stake. You need to find out about everything that's going on, all right? And learn about it. So that way you can actually understand the positives and the negatives of the different things that are going on in crypto. It's extremely important. You must study, you must read. Believe it or not, I spend maybe 2 hours a day researching crypto. 2 hours a day, constantly. Whether it's new coins, and by the way, I did not check that coin I told you yesterday. I forgot. I have to check that damn coin. But yeah, yesterday, I guess I was so caught up in the dip and things that were going on that I was trying to just take advantage of all of that. But anyway, so just be careful. Just do your homework, man. That's all I say. So yes, I believe Ethereum. I've been a strong believer. I've said it 6, 7, 8 months ago. I told you guys, for me, Ethereum was the better investment than Bitcoin. So for me, a lot of the altcoins are better than Bitcoin because you can triple, quadruple, 5-time, 8-time your money a lot faster with altcoins. So what I've told people is what you do is you build up your portfolio with altcoins, and the profits, you use them to stake Bitcoin. That's what I tell people all the time. Sure, you should invest, like Bitcoin dropped yesterday into like 57, something like that. Buy a little Bitcoin because it's going to go right back up and it's going to hit 70. So you're already going to start making profit. So there's no problem with that. But let's say you're investing in Ethereum, and let's say 3 months from now, Ethereum is up, 40, 50%. And you want to now take some of your profits out. And let's say you want to take 20% of your profits out. My suggestion is, okay, you get those 20% profits and, take 15% of those profits and go enjoy yourself, pay off bills, treat your family, whatever. And then 5% of that, buy Bitcoin and stake it. Stake it. And all your profits that you get, a little bit into Bitcoin, a little bit more into Bitcoin, a little bit more into Bitcoin, because that is the ultimate savings account in the history of time. There's nothing better than Bitcoin. So that thing is going to last forever, and it's just going to grow in value, and it's going to be the way you fight inflation that's coming up. Those that invest in crypto, and especially in Bitcoin, they're going to see that they're not going to lose any value in their money by investing in Bitcoin. Whereas if you have your money in stocks sometimes, and if definitely you have it in the bank, you are going to be losing money because the dollar will be losing value. Whereas Bitcoin will fight off that and will gain in value because it will become, the scarcity of it will make it more valuable than ever. So it's really a hedge against inflation. But people won't learn that till down the line. We're ready to go? All right, let's do it. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk a little basketball after last night's outstanding performance by the Miami Heat with the one and only Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right, we are ready to go. Ira Winderman and our Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat report. Ira, wait a minute. What? Okay, there we go. Okay. How you doing, Ira? You doing all right?
You can squeeze me in wherever you want. I understand it's all about the sponsors. I'm doing good. Oh, it's really interesting this season how it's almost feast or famine when I come on your shows. Either the Heat are incredibly terrible and we're talking about losses to Denver and the Clippers and the Lakers, or they're on 4-game winning streaks. It's like there's been very little middle ground. But you know what? Through all of the bad, there has been more good. And the Miami Heat wake up today on Friday for our accurate Pembroke Pines report in first place in the Eastern Conference. So whether you want to say cream rises to the top, whether you want to say they found their footing, they're a good team. And this is where they should wind up being for most of the season, right at the top of the battle in the East.
11-5 is exceptional, Ira. I don't care what anybody tells me.
With this schedule,
Yeah,
when
with
they're
this
just coming
schedule.
back from a brutal, 5-game, 9-day trip, heading back on the road for 9 more again. And this is important, Heat fans, no matter what even happens on this trip. They are getting so many of these bad road games and bad road situations out of the way. Again, there will be a stretch in March, Big O, when the Heat play 10 of 11 at home. So even if the record's a little sideways, even if they're 3rd, 4th, or 5th, and you're worried, oh, they're in trouble? No, they're in really good shape because at the end of this race, they'll be running on that inside lane.
I'm with you, man. And last night, when I saw that Tyler Hero's not playing, I'm a little nervous because I'm worried about the juice off the bench. But damn, Gabe Vincent, man, nice job by the young man.
Yeah.
He found his stroke last night. That was nice. And see, that's been, Caleb Martin has had his moments.
Yes.
Dedmon's had his moments. Now we see Gabe Vincent having his moments. PJ Tucker is the ultimate definition of 3-and-D. So, it's just all these little elements. It's nice to see that their complementary players are truly complementary.
Yeah, I'll give you something interesting. I'm driving home last night, and I usually do my pregame debriefing with Eric Reed when he's driving home to Boca. I'm heading out to Weston. And we actually had this debate. We were talking over who was the bigger contributor last night, Gabe Vincent or Caleb Martin. And Big O, if we're having that debate and they're both contributing, that says plenty. The Heat find the right players. And Gabe Vincent last night wasn't just about his three-pointers. It was about the diversity of his offense. It was his first career NBA dunk. It was getting in the lane. He said, look, Tyler was out. He gets downhill. I had to step in. I had to try to get downhill. When I was arguing with Eric Reed, I said I thought Caleb Martin had the bigger game. His athleticism and the way he makes plays that spark you is really impressive also. And again, it's like we said, in our earlier accurate Pembroke Pines report this week and our show with Clay Ferraro the other day, the Heat are getting it from so many different places they can afford to rest someone. Look, we were sitting there in pregame in the media room trying to find this Tyler Hero wrist injury. And some of the guys were poring over the video, trying to figure it out, and David Ramil and Wes Goldberg. We couldn't find it. And I still think Spoelstra's being very prudent about spotting his players. Look at this week alone, Big O. Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Kyle Lowry, and Tyler Hero all have had days off, and the Heat have won every one of those games. So I think Eric Spoelstra is being smart. This is not like the last 2 seasons that were shortened. This is going to be a full 82-game marathon. He's going to keep his players fresh. He's going to play prudent. And the entire focus of all of this is this. You and I started the season talking about the Heat big 3 of Lowry, Butler, and Adebayo. It's a big 4 right now. And when you have a big 4, you can sit one of the guys and still get plenty of production. The Heat got it last night, season-high assist from Kyle Lowry. They got the second consecutive 30-point game from Bam Adebayo, and rather from Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo filled the box score. So they have enough guys that, hey, take a night off. We'll be fine. And all of this is without Markieff Morris ever since that scuffle in Denver a week ago Monday.
And let me tell you something. What we cannot overlook, and you just look at this roster, the Heat with the 13th and 14th picks may have picked all-star caliber players in Bam, and obviously Tyler is headed in an all-star direction. Whether he's sixth man or not, he's playing like he deserves to be an all-star if he continues on this trajectory. And then you had Duncan Robinson, who they find off the scrap heap, who ends up becoming one of the 3 best three-point shooters in the NBA. The only guy you could say for sure is better is the dude, in Golden State.
Who's killing it right now.
God bless.
But you know what, Big O? On this upcoming road trip, it starts in Washington tomorrow on Saturday. They then go to Detroit and play this past draft's number 1 pick, Cade Cunningham. They then go to Minnesota and play last year's draft number 1 pick, Anthony Edwards. And what it shows you is it's more than about winning the lottery. The Heat never wins the lottery. The Heat never draft at the top of the lottery. Dwayne Wade, to a degree, was an exception there, and they still find a way. So whether it's in football, in tank for Tua, or other sports where you think one guy's going to be a saver, it's not. It's organizationally, how do you get these young pieces and how do you develop them? Big O, the Miami Heat played 12 players on Wednesday night against the New Orleans Pelicans. Here's a fascinating stat. 8 of them were undrafted.
I know.
Think about that.
Well, that's the part that I didn't get. You didn't let me finish here. Gabe Vincent is helping.
Yes.
Max Strus is helping. Now they brought up the Garrett kid. We'll see what he does. Caleb Martin. I mean, these, and then, we'll see what happens with Yurtsevin down the line. Because obviously see, the beauty about the Heat is that all of a sudden, whenever you see a young guy that's off the street, you can't just dismiss it like, oh, yeah, whatever, he's a guy. No, you have to now look at it because these guys know how to find people. So now you're hoping Yurtsevin turns into something. But that's my point. It's not just about the 2 draft picks. It's also about all the other players that are undrafted that are contributing. You saw it last night when you and Eric are arguing about 2 guys that are undrafted and helping you out because their scouting department is doing an outstanding job where other teams have to go buy older veterans to kind of fill out the roster. These guys are finding young people that might have a future.
And their development department. There's 2 parts of that, Big O. There's the scouting staff and the development department. I'm not so sure the development program with the Heat, and that includes Octavio De La Grana, Eric Glass, Anthony Carter, Chris Quinn, and their coaches there. I'm not so sure they can't take any ball of clay and fashion it into a contributor, because that's really what they've done. I mean, look at it this way. Caleb Martin was with the Hornets. They let him go. Max Strus was in the Bulls organization. They let him go. Gabe Vincent was in the Kings organization. They let him go. Omar Yurtsevin was in the Thunder's organization. They let him go. So I think it's the development department also where other teams go, this kid can't play. Let's move on. The Heat go, hey, let's be patient. Let's get these guys in the gym every single day in August and September and continue to work with them, even in Sioux Falls, where there's nothing but basketball up there, and turn them into something. That's the difference. So scouting is the first part of it, to find the diamonds in the rough. But the second part is to turn those pieces of coal into diamonds.
And by the way, speaking of that, then that leads me to, you didn't have the same kind of offseason last year. You didn't have the same kind of season. This year you had the offseason, and you're getting the results because you were able to put in that work in the offseason.
Spot on. I mean, look, even from a Tyler Hero, a draft choice, late lottery, he had an offseason. Oh, my God, he's a different player. Gabe Vincent had a knee injury he was rehabbing. Now he gets the full summer. Even a Bam Adebayo with the full summer with the Olympic team, picking up little tips from Draymond Green and players like that, and then coming on in that floater and that jumper we saw last night. Yeah, Heat players evolve. Very rarely will you talk to me about a Heat player and go, man, Ira, he's gotten stagnant. He's not any better. There's not that upward curve you like to see. And that's what this team does. And I know it's hyperbole to talk about development because it's the players as much as the coaches wanting to be receptive and them wanting to be receptive, Big O. It's one thing to teach. It's another thing to have people listen. And every player, including when we spoke to Gabe Vincent last night, that's what he said. They've worked with me. They've made me better, which makes me willing to want to be better also.
You have covered all kinds of Heat teams. You've covered all kinds of Pat Riley teams. One of the things I was talking about, I believe it was yesterday in one of my rants, was that this Heat team, and we haven't seen this in a few years. Maybe we have to go back to the Big Three. This is one of those type of teams that actually takes more pride in their defense than their offense. And I think we haven't had that in the last few years here with this team. We've had moments where they've played decent defense,
right?
But this is dog-like defense. This is the kind of defense that we've seen, in the past with some Spo teams and many Riley teams, that they got down and dirty and they have more passion about playing their defense than almost their offense. You agree
Yeah,
with
that's
this?
a really good point, and I'm working actually on a piece on that in one of my notes. Bam Adebayo after last night's game said, "Look, we're not happy. They almost shot 50%. They got 15 3-pointers." And it was really interesting what he said. We're making up for it with our athleticism. We're making up with it for it with our intelligence of knowing when to switch. We'd rather not run around like chickens with their heads cut off,
Right,
but
right.
we can because they have that closeout speed. So he wants to see it at another level. He said, "Hey, it's been good, but it can get better. It needs to get better." So they're always working on that end. Take Jimmy Butler, what he did last night. For everything he did, Spoelstra was most marveling about his steals and the way he can shoot the
Right.
gap and the way he has this uncanny vision where Spoelstra says there were times he turns to his coaches and he says to them, how did he do that? How did he get that? We saw that with Dwayne Wade and his steals, with LeBron and his steals, with the great closeout defense of the team you mentioned, whether it was even a Ray Allen or a Mike Miller, they were out there quickly on shooters. That's the next thing. They're still evolving. It's early, but the Heat have a nice baseline for their defense, but even they expect more.
How much do you think this becomes an influencer for years to come? Because having PJ around and having Lowry and having Butler, and Bam already has that disposition. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just part of his DNA as it is. But this is the influence that you're leaving on Tyler and Duncan and Gabe and everybody else that's on here and Struce and everybody. How much of that influence do you think helps for these young guys to see these seasoned veterans that have some of them? They're, Kyle Lowry, his odometer might have gone around already once,
Right.
and yet the effort and the defense is there. They roll over on his ankle one night and he's back the next night with the triple double. You know what I mean? The kind of work that they bring to the table, will it be infectious enough that it will leave a lasting impression on these young guys?
Yeah, and there was another name you didn't even mention we were talking about constantly after Wednesday's game, Udonis Haslem, and the examples he's setting
Yeah.
in practice
Nice
and what he
block.
does. And you're absolutely right, Big O. That becomes infectious. That they say, hey, then they see this also. Matter of fact, it's interesting. The guys you pointed to are all long in the tooth. The PJ Tucker, the Kyle Lowry,
Yeah.
even the Udonis Haslem. But you know what they see? If you defend, you last in this league. PJ Tucker's lasted in this league on his defense. Udonis Haslem, even taking out the last 5 years and putting him back at 36, lasted as an effective rotation player because of his defense. It's a really good lesson for guys that, hey, it's nice to collect the money now, but if you want to collect the money when you're 30s, you better have that defensive disposition. And so you're right. Half the team are dogs, half the team are puppies, but they're learning to be dogs. They're learning to be like the Rottweilers that UD has.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Washington, I guess the rematch tomorrow night. What are you expecting from that game?
I'm expecting a different Wizards team. They were without Spencer Dinwiddie only for rest, so he's not injured. He's had a pretty good season. He's done a lot of damage against the Heat when he was with the Nets. There's a chance that Daniel Gafford, their big man, will be back. They'll have more post play. They didn't have last night. There's also a chance that Tyler Hero is back and that the Heat are closer to whole than maybe we've seen since the early stages of the season. And I would take this Heat team at whole. I mean, take everyone who played yesterday and you throw back in Tyler Hero to that mix, you're in pretty good shape. And the good thing, is this. They have a day off before that game, but they have 2 days off after. So it's not like you have to rest someone. You have Sunday. You can sit in Washington, D.C. You have a practice at Georgetown on Monday. You can get back to work. So I think the Heat are going to go for it. I think a split with Washington would put them on equal footing with Washington. I think they want to make a statement. We've seen this before.
I agree.
They want to knock teams from their perch. They went into Brooklyn this year with Harden and Durant, even without Irving, and they made their statement. They want to do the same thing with the Wizards. They want to, in Milwaukee, the victory they had at the start of the season against them, they want to systematically pick off the top teams in the East and say, okay, you might have thought who you were. We're going to show you who you are.
I haven't watched as much of Gafford this year, but when I saw him in Chicago, he's one of those cats that I saw and I said, damn, I would love to see the Heat coaching staff grab him because he's got some skill sets, man. There's something
And
about
size.
that Gafford kid.
And he has that size. He reminds me a little.
Riley will love that part. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamal. He reminds me a little of Jamal McGlure at Jamal McGlure's best or whatever. That was an absolute steal by Washington to get a guy like that for pennies on the dollar last season. So they're a different team with him also. But you know what? The Wizards got a big game from Bradley Beal, and it wasn't enough. And if you can beat the Wizards at their Beal best, you're also in pretty good shape going into the rematch.
And by the way, they're a decent three-point shooting team, so I know that they're beating themselves up for that, but you were going up against a decent shooting team, so they're going to make their own shots. The fact that you beat them by 15 and without Tyler, I'm really impressed with the balance from this
and
team.
again, another one of these, you built the 18-point lead in the third quarter and you held on to it. We didn't see that against the Lakers. We didn't see that against the Clippers. We almost didn't see that against the Jazz. Like Eric Spoelstra said, you learn from those moments also. You don't think a game is over. You play it to the finish, and that's what they did. So those were really good lessons learned. You and I talked about it earlier in the week. Yes, they had a 2-3 road trip, but I think there were really valuable lessons during that road trip.
And by the way, something that really hasn't reared its ugly head this year with the Heat a lot is the third quarter.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the depth of talent. That's because at the end of midway through the third, when you're subbing out, it used to be, let's just survive this. Yes. Now you've had the Tyler heroes come in. Now you've had other guys come off the bench and keep you afloat. And that matters a lot also because you need to rest all of your 32, 35, and 36-year-olds.
I'm looking forward to it, man. This season's between them and the Panthers, Ira. They're making the winter fun, man. I mean, last night.
And you know what?
Was amazing.
If you step back from the press row and you walk behind, you see everyone has the Panthers on also. We have our stats monitor and we have our Panthers game on also because you got to enjoy the winning.
Yeah, no doubt. There's a lot of winning going on between the Panthers and the Miami Heat. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And, of course, you can catch him exclusively here all week long, twice a week, with the accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat Report and that exceptional show, the Palette Rack City Inside the Paint Show, every Wednesday. Next Wednesday, by the way, I think next week it's Friday.
We're going next Friday because we want to get nice and filled up on the stuffing and turkey and then just come here totally languid for an hour. You know what? It'll be toward the end of the trip. We'll have a better view whether the Heat won the games they should have against Detroit and Minnesota. I'll be joining you on Monday, a little different schedule for our accurate Pembroke Pines report. So you'll still get us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday next week. Little different schedule, but all the Heat info you can use.
It's a beautiful thing. Ira, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Hey, and we didn't fire our athletic director, so it's been a good week for the Heat. Thank you.
You got it. There you go. The great Ira Winderman and the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat, an NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Friday, there you go. Thanks to Ira. Appreciate him. As always, by the way, Flo is addressing the media now. We're gonna replay the whole thing for you in a couple of minutes. I don't want to join it midstream. We'll wait till it's done and then we'll replay it for you right from the get-go, and I'll break down all of his comments. But we thank Ira as always. Let me check back with the chat board here. Someone's saying Big O, is Rosen really that? Yeah, he's bad. He's got no confidence anymore now at this point. When you have failed that much, you have to fight the confidence. And that's anything in life, man. Anything in life. You know what I mean? Everybody goes through hard times, and sometimes you have failure. And, I have a saying that says success is fed off of failure. But you got to be mentally strong in order to do that. You know what I mean? Because none of us are perfect. None of us are going to have the kind of lifestyle that everything is going to go right for us, and we're always going to make the right calls, and the world is going to be right. And sometimes things are going to be wrong, and sometimes you're going to have bad days, and sometimes it's going to be unfair, and you got to try to fight through it. And if Rosen ever wanted to be a quarterback, he had to fight through it, and he has failed to fight through it. He's at a point now where he probably needs to go to the CFL and kind of go a level lower and then rebuild again if he's willing to do it. Others have done it. But what he's doing now, he's going to, mentally, obviously, he's not there, man. And it's not like physically he can't do it. It's all here. It's all there for him. And right now, it doesn't look like he's ever going to find it. Let's see what else. Jimmy Bone says, take all the way the stupid penalties, mistakes the Falcons could have made that close. Yeah, but that's why you're a bad team. That's why you're a bad team. Did you read Barry Jackson's article today in the one of the 87 articles he writes every day in the Miami Herald? But he talked a little bit about what's going on with Manny and how he was bringing up the comments that players were making about their mistakes and their penalties and all that, and that it happens to them in games and it happens to them in practices, and Barry was kind of mentioning that this is kind of going to be the lasting impression of Manny, and really he's 1,000% right. And that's the reason why Manny cannot be a head coach, because the one thing that you've seen from the get-go, like what you saw from Atlanta, they're unorganized. They're constantly making mistakes. We saw that a lot with Flo's team. We still see it a lot with their offense, and they still make mistakes. But it's one of those deals where you got to have discipline, man. You got to be smart when you're on the field. That's the beauty of watching Pat Riley coach his team, or Spo, or watching Shula. It's a common denominator in any great coach, in any great team. They're usually a smart bunch. They're usually not burning themselves with mistakes. And you watch the Miami Hurricanes, and for 3 straight years under Manny Diaz, it's constant mistakes. Can't win like that. You'll never overcome like that. You have to have discipline. You have to teach how to play smart. And the Falcons didn't play smart, and that's on the coaching. That's always on the coaching. When people say, oh, no, we got to start blaming players. No, dude. You blame the player early on. But once it continues, it's the coach's problem, because you kept playing the player. And you could not find somebody else to be more disciplined and take the field. See, it's kind of what we're talking about with Flores, that one of the reasons why, the main reason why I've quit on him now, is he can't build a staff. You're done. Can't build a staff, you can't be a head coach. You can't build up your business. Brett Gittleman can't run Caneswear if he can't replace employees and find good employees again. Can't. Sorry. You can't be the general sales manager at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines like my man, Larry Schlossberg. And if you lose a couple of your sales managers that are top-notch salespeople, guess what you got to do? You got to go find same kind of dogs. Oh, and you lost a couple of your mechanics? Well, you can't go find another crappy mechanic. You got to go find the same great mechanic that you just had. He just looks different. He's taller, shorter, wider, fatter, different sex, whatever it is. But he's a great mechanic, or she's a great mechanic. That's what good people do. That's why they're leaders, because they know how to delegate and they know how to find talent, not just on the field, but on the sidelines. So that's part of the game. And that's what's burned Manny Diaz. Not a good enough staff, not enough discipline, and that's the problem. This year, it's proven with Flores again, he can't fix his staff. He can't build a staff. And now his team made all kinds of mistakes and were undisciplined, unlike the first 2 years. Or year and a half, let's say, because the first half year of his existence, it was him trying to, set everything up. But that's part of the game. So you can't play the if game with Atlanta last night. We can't play the if game with the Canes if they didn't do this, if they didn't do that, if they made this decision on 4th and 14. Well, why do you think they make this decision? Because it's a bad head coach with a bad staff. That's why. There's a reason why bad things continue to happen to bad teams and bad coaching staffs, because they can't make the right decisions. Lucas Varela Sid, thank you, sir, for a little love on the super chat. He says, Big O, I rarely catch the crypto segments. What are your thoughts on Cardano, ADA? I am a big Cardano ADA holder, my man. I stake my Cardano. So my Cardano's been multiplying. I staked my shib. Yesterday I picked up 25,000 shibs extra. Hey man, you want to give me 25,000 more shibs? Let's go, baby. That's why I keep telling you, you got to stake, man. You got to stake. Stake. You know that OK Coin right now has got Polygon at 15.49% interest? You stake Polygon, you get 15.49% interest. It's awesome. It's pretty good. All right, I get 12.5 on crypto.com. 15.49, that's pretty damn good. So, yeah, it's no, but I love ADA. I think it's a terrific. ADA is one of those where, look, I've had ADA under $1. So, and it's right at the $2 mark now. So I've more than doubled my money already as it is. But here's what I would tell you about ADA. Well, it's under $2 now with the dip, but it'll go back up. ADA, I think, will now skyrocket again in the next month and a half. By the end of December, I think it'll be over $3, getting closer to $4. But ADA is going to be a monster. Their ecosystem is enormous. They just started the smart contracts on September 12th. They activated them. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where you gotta give it time to grow. And remember, they have another update coming next year. And when they once they finish everything, the ecosystem is going to grow. And what I love about Cardano is the community also. Let me give you a great stat. 70% of Cardano is staked. Okay? 70%. So that means that 70%, we may want to get back as much as possible. It is pouring out here. Anyway, so 70% of Cardano is staked. So it's not moving anywhere. That's pretty awesome. Okay? The only thing is that Charles hasn't mentioned anything about burning some Cardano, like what Ethereum is doing now. Ethereum has burned, I believe it's over 4 billion in ETH, which less ETH out there, which then creates more value, and ETH is going to, Ethereum is going to blow up, right? I would like Charles to actually do that. And by the way, if you do have ADA, you should follow Charles Hodgson's on YouTube. The man is on YouTube 3-4 times a week, at least, talking to the community. And that's another thing that I commend ADA with, that they do a great job of talking to their community and telling them about what's going on with the coin and the latest developments. And Charles is so incredibly smart. I know he's monotone. I know he's not entertaining. I know he's not a guy that brings like a ton of personality to the whole thing. He has some dry wit to him, but it's not a guy that's going to bring, like when you watch me every day, you never see me monotone or anything like that. I always bring a lot of emotion to what I do. So, but you're not going to get that from Charles, but man, you're going to get so much substance. It's a joke. Okay. How much substance you're going to get, how much you're going to learn from the man. That's the other thing that I love listening to Charles, because you get to learn from him. So I'm an enormous ADA guy. I have a lot of ADA. I am strong on ADA. I'm gonna hodl ADA, wait for ADA, and I know it's going to be growing and exploding. I think it'll be one of the top blockchains. It really is a faster Ethereum, to be honest. It really is. It's just the average person doesn't know about it, but that's why I think eventually it'll have its run, and when it goes on its run, it's going to be explosive. I truly believe that. So yes, I'm a strong believer of Cardano ADA, and it's at a good bargain right now. Last year with Chan, Miami was one of the least penalized teams, along with the highest scoring offense. I know, Darren, since the Marino days, and Flo couldn't keep him. And Chan's the one that told him, Tua's not ready yet, dude. We got to wait. No, I want to start him now. Wait a minute. We're playing the Rams this week. I'm telling you, he's not ready. You want to start him against the Rams. I just want you to just think about that. Think about it. Let it marinate inside the brain there. What goes through your mind when you start to think about that? The guy that knows offense tells the guy that knows defense that the QB is not ready because he knows that the QB has had a pandemic offseason with no practice, not getting the reps, probably doesn't know the whole playbook because he tests him all the time in the classroom. And he's telling him, we're better off with the 17-year veteran that's normally used to playing in chaos, normally used to playing behind bad lines and bad situations. Let's stay with that guy. Let's protect the kid. He's not ready yet. But the coach, hard-headed as he is, he's dead set on starting a kid that's not ready against the Rams. I'll let you just maybe think about what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? We will be playing the Flores you're telling me. We will. You put it there. Okay, thank you. Telling folks we will play the Flores press conference. Let's see. Poor take, Big O. Okay. I mean, I'm not supposed to make you happy every single time. Tua has no heart. Powder puff. No, of course. Yeah, no, I know. It really takes no heart to blow out your hip and then go to the NFL when you don't have to. You probably can live off of anything else. Your degree, anything else. You could probably do some commercials and, move on. No, but I'll correct my hip and I'll go play football in the NFL. No, of course not. Yeah, no, you blow out 2 ankles and you have them like wired with titanium and you go back in there to go play the game. Yeah, no, he's playing last week with a fractured finger that he actually hit the week before on another helmet again, and he throws a 45-yard pass. No, of course not. Tua's not tough at all, bro. No, of course not. I mean, you know what the silliness is of a stupid comment like that from Danny Drew? Tua has no heart, yet he came off the bench and led Alabama to a national championship, and he has no heart. And he's playing behind no line last week, right? And he's still making plays behind no line, no running game, no nothing. But he has no heart. See, when you have idiots like Danny Drew who send in stupid-ass comments like that, they confuse injury-prone with being no heart, injury-prone with being soft. Injury-prone doesn't mean you're soft. Injury-prone doesn't mean you have no heart. In fact, all Tua's done in his career is proven he's got heart, because anybody that's willing to come back from hip surgery to play in the NFL and get beaten up has got a ton of heart. Okay? In fact, the embarrassing part is, Danny Drew, for you is you don't even recognize what heart is. Heart is actually having the courage to come back from adversity, my man. But you actually don't see it that way. I mean, pretty pathetic, bro. You got Flores? All right, let's do this. Let's take a break. Hour number 2 is next. We will play the Brian Flores press conference. I also want to tell you about a story that broke yesterday about Lane Kiffin, and I'll tell you why it's probably complete BS. Back with more in hour number 2, live from Caneswear in Davie, 2511 South University Drive. Come on by and say hi. We'll be out here for another couple of hours. Back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, a.k.a. the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins to the Heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, lollipop blow in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727, or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Friday, hour number 2 of the show, coming to you live, baby, from Caneswear here in Davie, 2511 South University Drive. We used to be right down the street from Dolphins training camp, but that's no longer there anymore. Now we're about 15, 20 minutes north of Dolphins training camp, right on University. So come on by, say hi. We'll be out here for a while. You can get some of your Caneswear, get some Dolphins. Man, they have some hats in there. I swear, I get in trouble in this place because I want to buy so many things every time I walk in there, man. I was just looking at some hats. I'm thinking of buying another Dolphin hat that's there. Actually, it's really there's also another Heat hat that I want in there also. It's just so good. I'm going to get to Flores' press conference in a second here. A gentleman said ADA times 10 would be 600 billion market cap. How many coins over 600 billion? Oh, yeah, one. All right, so Inund 8D, I don't know if that's how you pronounce whatever your name is on the chat board, my brother. I love what you're bringing up, but you also have to understand this. And here's where you have to open your mind up a little bit. And this is where, sometimes when you rely too much on technical analysis, you will get burned, I believe, in crypto. And so you think that what happened 2 years ago, 4 years ago is what's going to happen over the next 2 to 4 years. That's not true, because less than 5% of the world is involved in crypto. 95% of it doesn't know anything about it. And I know that half the world, or maybe 70% of the world, has heard of Bitcoin, but they don't know what the hell it is. So remember, you have your Amazons, right? And you have your Googles, and you have your what's it called, Microsoft, and all those kind of things. Okay, and I understand the one coin you're talking about is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is over $1 trillion. Okay, now let me explain something to you. It took what's it called, Apple. It took Apple 42 years to get to $1 trillion. It took Amazon 24 years to get to 1 trillion in the market cap. It took Google 21 years to get to 1 trillion in the market cap. It took Bitcoin 12. Okay? And my point is, Bitcoin is going to continue to grow, but so is Ethereum. You think Ethereum is not going to pass 600 billion? And eventually, Ethereum is the internet. And we can't live without the internet, but eventually the internet will be the blockchain, because the blockchain is way harder to ever hack or get through or whatever. And it's the best way for human beings to be able to monetize what they own. And it can't be stolen and duplicated and all those kind of things. The blockchain eliminates all of that. Okay? Do you see now that the NFL signed a deal? They are now creating NFTs for your tickets, because, there's a lot of electronic tickets and all that. So now you can get your NFT ticket of your game, and it's on Polygon. By the way, who's been telling you that Polygon's the best deal for a couple of weeks now? Load up on Polygon. So my point is, these blockchains like Ethereum, like Solana, like Polygon, like Binance, Solana's farther away than those. I mean, Polygon's farther away, but Binance and Ethereum and Cardano, they can get to that number 600 billion. That's the thing. It's going to get there. You're going to have several companies, just like you do in the stock market, that you have several companies that are monsters, and you can always count on Tesla to be there, and all these other companies that are just, pillars. You're going to develop that in crypto. The question is, which ones are they going to be? Which ones can you identify? Will Solana grow to that point? Will Binance grow to that point? You know what I mean? That's kind of the idea. And so, yes, I do believe Cardano could end up being 600 billion. There's no doubt in my mind Ethereum will be 600 billion. Ethereum will get over the trillion mark. I truly believe that. Bitcoin won't be the only one at $1 trillion. Bitcoin might be the only one at 3 or 4 trillion down the line, but I think there'll be a couple of other coins that will get to 600 billion easily, actually, maybe even $1 trillion. And so it's not, this is just the beginning. Like I told you. Okay, so less than 5% is involved in Bitcoin, right? We have countries now that are using Bitcoin as their legal tender, and they're buying Bitcoin. Okay? So less than 5% is involved, right? And it's already at $1 trillion market cap. What do you think happens when half the world is involved? How many trillions do you think it's going to be? See what I'm saying? So don't close your eyes. Technical analysis, when you look it up, I want you to also take into account that they're going over technical analysis from 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 7 years ago, when there were less people involved in crypto, less companies involved in crypto, less financial institutions involved in crypto. There were no countries involved in crypto. I mean, just you got to look at it, man. Look what's going on. That's the thing. You got to understand and realize that this is going to be a part of our world. Our everyday usage is what it's going to be. Digital currency is going to be the way we do business in everything that we do from here on out. It's just going to grow and it's going to be a part of your life. You don't realize it, but it eventually will be. If you're 75 or 80 years old, you probably don't care. But if you're, under your 60s and you plan on living for the next 10 to 20, 30 years, you better get on track. Young people are really smart, but they're easy. They're going to grow up with it, so it's going to be natural for them. But it's everybody in between the problem right now. It's either really smart investors or really young people. Everybody in between needs to be educated about crypto. Okay. All right. There you go. All right. So I got my piece out there just to kind of explain it to you out there. Let's go over the comments from Brian Flores, baby. He addressed the meteors today since he gets to skip out on them on Thursdays. Go ahead.
Hopeful that they're out there. Today's practice will tell us a lot. So, but both guys doing everything they can to get out there.
The thinking and changing the quarterback on the practice squad, another young guy, and Jake. What was some of the stuff that appealed to you about him?
We did a lot of work on Jake pre-draft a couple years ago. So he's someone we had some interest in. So when he became available, Chris and his staff, we just felt like it was a good opportunity to take a look at him. So we've been here today, and we'll just keep working with him, see what that looks like.
Tua told us on Wednesday he doesn't expect any limitations on Sunday. Is that the way that he's been progressing throughout the week?
I think he's had a good couple days of practice. We'll see how today goes. And he's obviously there's definitely some discomfort, but he's fighting through it, and but he's looked good.
How's the team doing mentally? Obviously you had a tough stretch, but now you get 2 wins. How's the team mentally doing, getting ready for the game Sunday?
I think they're excited to get back out there. Just kind of, that all starts with their preparation, which, we're kind of finishing at the preparation today and kind of putting the finishing touches on the game plan and having as good an understanding of how we want to play on Sunday. And that's where the focus is. It's on this game.
You have to face a team twice in 4 weeks or whatever it is. Does that change the way you game plan at all?
No. I think we just try to, as a staff, put our players in the best position to have success this week, and we'll worry about. I don't even know when the next time we play them. We'll worry about that when we get there. So, really, kind of just focus on this week.
Have you you and Chris given any thought to changing personnel at all in terms of injecting another player at running back? I know you have trust in Miles. He's done good things over the last year. Savon as well. Have you thought about Duke Johnson, Jarrett, a guy on the waiver wire, or do you just want to continue on with primarily Miles and Savon?
I think there's always conversations about who the best guys are to help us win this week. I think the focus is on the Jets and how do we what's the best way to try to what players can help us have success. So those are always conversations that we're having. So that's, guys on the active roster, guys on the practice squad. Obviously, we've elevated, a number of guys over the course of the season. So, those conversations will be had, and we'll always do what we feel is in the best interest of the team.
Brian, you're leaving town this weekend for basically the last time until until Christmas as a team. Did long stretches of playing at home like that impact how you practice at all? Like how you schedule practices and schedule things throughout the week?
I think we take things week to week based on injuries, based on my overall sense of what we need. And I get kind of feedback from everyone, in the building, strength staff, medical staff, etc. So as far as scheduling down the road, it's really week to week. But I'm not. I think the focus right now is just on the Jets. They got some good players. They got good coaches. I mean, it's hard to win in that building. So that's kind of where the focus is. And, we're just, want to have a good day of practice today and finish off the week strong. And, hopefully that'll lead into some success during the game.
Right. It's a question without an answer probably. But when you're going to a building that has a wind element to it, I mean, it does kind of swirl there, how do special teamers prepare for things that you can't control and things that you can't really replicate anywhere else?
Yeah, obviously, weather, wind, rain, those are all elements that, we have to deal with, at times. And, we're going, up north, to play in that particular stadium. There are some gusts, some winds that, definitely play a role in the kicking game first, but then offensively, defensively, there's some things that may play into, or the wind could play into how the game's called, what we do offensively, what we do defensively. So, those are things we talk about, as a staff. Weather obviously changes, day to day. So try not to, inundate the players with, hey, if it's, the gusts or this, we usually just don't really know. But I think, some of the conversation is, hey, this isn't the environment we're used to. These aren't the elements we're used to. There's probably going to be a little bit more wind, a little bit chillier than, I know it's a cold front here, but it's, 75 degrees. It's, not necessarily, so it's going to be colder than, what we're used to. And, that's part of playing on the road.
Brian, I wanted to ask you about the gunner, the role of the gunner.
Yeah.
How difficult would you say that job is, not just on the special teams level, but in football overall?
It's probably the hardest job, probably the hardest job, in the game for it. Let's call it one specific play. I would say my first, when I got into the league, I started in the kicking game. I started, in special teams with, Brad Seeley, when I was up in New England, and I worked with the gunners. So I understand that the physicality, what goes on, from a play to play, basis, at that position, especially when you got two guys on you. So you got to be mentally tough, physically tough. You got to be strong, you got to be fast. And, it's a tough down, especially when you got a vice there. And, only the strong survive out there.
On that note, how much fun is it having Matt Collins on this team? Like yesterday, we just talked to him for however long it was about how much he enjoys playing special teams and how passionate he is about that and how that can really, elevate the other special teamers.
Yeah, I'm sure Mac had plenty to, yeah, I'm sure,
I mean, he's really fun for us.
I'm sure he is. So, it's great to have Mac. He's, he brings a lot of energy and juice to practice. And as you mentioned, he's a lot of fun, and I'm sure it was a great interview.
Have you ever heard of duct tape theory? Or do you know the duct
I don't
tape?
know the duct tape theory. I'm okay not knowing it.
Brian, can you talk about a little bit about the matchup with the coach, two young coaches in the league who have defensive backgrounds? Can you talk a little bit about that, and if you have a relationship with Robert?
Yeah, I mean, I think very highly of Coach Sala. He's mentally tough, smart. He's had a lot of success in this league. intense, and you see that, with his team. I think they've done a lot of good things. I think they play with great effort. I think they do a good job in a lot of areas. The one that comes to mind for me is rushing the passer, which that's right in Rob's wheelhouse. So we know what to expect from that standpoint. But they're tough, they're disciplined. It's a hardworking group, and that's pretty much what Rob is. And embodies a lot of Rob's characteristics and him as a person.
Brian, have you ever crossed paths professionally with Saleh other than just the coaching circles?
Yeah, just the coaching circles. I mean, combine, on the road, working players out, games. So we've gotten to know each other over the years, and I think highly of him.
Michael Carter's a guy that you guys got a significant amount of exposure to at the Senior Bowl.
Yep.
He leads them in rushing yards and is tied for the lead in receptions. What kind of challenge does he present to the defense?
Yeah, he's a good back. He's a good young back, good vision, downhill runner. But he can also, make you miss in space. So, and he's good out of the backfield. So he's done a nice job for him. They're doing a good job getting him the ball and highlighting his skill set. So we liked him at the Senior Bowl. I think as he's smart, he's tough. I mean, you could see some of the professionalism just in that week, that he would do the things necessary to give himself a chance to have success, and that's clear that that's happening.
What's allowed Jamal Perry to stick around for your entire tenure here so far, and what led his promotion to the 53 this week?
Jamal, his versatility, his ability to play in the kicking game, corner, star, free safety, kicking game. He's fast, and we like him. I think we got a lot of DBs in the room, so he was on the practice squad, and we were able to elevate him this week. And he's helped us in a few games this year, and hopefully helps us this week.
The initial reports you guys brought Andrew Billings in was that he brought him up quickly. Do you expect him to be ready to play on Sunday?
Reports. Who got those reports?
There was a report from them saying he was expected to rise quickly.
I mean, he's been there 2 days, 2 practices. So, I mean, there's a lot that, I'm not sure if he knows how to get to the stadium. You know what I mean? I mean, there's just, there's just a lot we gotta get through. So playbook, getting to know his teammates. We want to make a call on the line. What's the guy you're making a call? What's his name? I mean, there's some things we gotta work through. But he's done a good job, and we're I would say the first day we had him out there, we were in pads, and he showed some things that we liked. So we'll keep working with him. Again, you guys know I don't really give much to the reports and speculation. I'm here. I think I'd like to think I know what the plan is. So we like Andrew. He's doing a lot of good things, and we'll if he can help us, we'll put him out there.
This might seem like an odd question, but there's a facial change up. You've got hair growing, you've got a beard growing. Just your appearance, you just figured to change it up.
My son asked me to grow my hair out. He wanted to see what it looked like. So,
are you pleased?
My son asked me to grow my hair out, so that's what I'm doing.
Brian, knowing that you don't like reports and all these things, is there something to be said though that you guys have played you've won 2 games after the trade deadline? Has that brought a calming sense? I mean, have you noticed I know you said guys weren't focused on it, but you are 2-0 since that chapter closed for this season.
I think we're just having better execution, playing better. I think we practiced better, we prepared better, we played better. That's the formula. We can get into other things if we want to, but that's the formula that I know, and that's what I've seen. And hopefully what I'm trying to do is help us continue to do the things that we've been doing the last couple of weeks, from a preparation standpoint, from a practice standpoint, and just see what happens when we do those things.
There you go. That's the head coach of your Miami Dolphins. Brian Flores. Really not much, except for that he's growing his hair because his son asked him to, which was kind of funny. That was Omar asking him that. All right. It's a beautiful thing. Anyway, not much there to really to chew on. That there's much there about Salah or no changes. He's not going to tell you what he's going to do anyways. Worried about a specific practice squad player coming up. Again, I didn't find anything that I could, say, okay, I like this, like that, hate this, hate that. Didn't really see anything. Did you hear anything earth shattering on it? It was kind of blah there. Just nothing. Let's see. The coach says 428 times, the word tough and strong another 333 times. Well, at least he's consistent. I mean, I love that, dude. You know what I'm saying? Did they really ask him a question about his hair? What the F is wrong with the Miami media? Timothy, there's nothing much to ask right now. Really, I mean, right now, what kind of questions do you ask that you're actually going to get an answer from? You know what I mean? It's more season-ending stuff that people are waiting for than anything else. But right now, in the week leading up to this game, what are you going to ask about the rivalry? Coach, do you get psyched up to play the Jets like fans do?
No, I was going to say, especially with Tua doing well right now with the finger.
Yeah, no, that's not good for him.
That
yeah.
used to be the questions all the time.
Right. Yeah, now Tua's doing good, which is probably not good for him. Coach isn't going to tell you crap, and I love it. Yeah, that's usually what it is. He's not really going to say much. Let's see. What else do we have? Let's see. Danny, you got a bad boxing record. You were not good enough, and Tua's good enough to be a pro athlete. You're just upset. Oh, Lordy. What else do we have here? Do we have any other real questions? I see you guys got a conversation going on with some guy that lost like 7,000 fights. Let's see what else. Don't worry, Big O. We'll be the band ringleader when we reach 7-7, and we'll go back to saying he's the best coach in Shula. Mark my words. No, I doubt that. Can't build a staff, bro. And to think that he's going to win 9 in a row, come on, man. I mean, really, seriously. I would love to see it. I hope I'm wrong. 9 in a row. Look, it's by the way, didn't I tell you that the Patriots would struggle to get to 500? I told you the Patriots would struggle to get to 500. They're already 7-5, right, or something like that. I think it is 7-4. Okay, told you they'd struggle to get to 500. Frank Gore is fighting Deron Williams. Yeah, whatever, bro. I mean, I love Frank Gore, but I think he's taken enough hits to the head playing football. I don't think he needs to go to the ring. The good thing is that it's just, he's not really fighting another guy that's like a real professional boxer or anything like that. By the way, my money's on Frank Gore, because if there's somebody that is tough as rocks, it's Frank Gore, bro. Frank Gore is like, he's that old school runner, man. He's like that wall. You know what I'm saying? Frank Gore is just an amazing person, man. He really is. He has no business going into the boxing ring because he should not put his body. He's putting his body through enough pain and punishment. I really don't want to see him do this, to be honest with you, because I like Frank personally because he's such a good person overall. But I have no interest whatsoever, okay, in watching Frank Gore and Darren Williams. And what is it? It's an undercard of another crappie? Is this another? It's another Paul fight. Oh, okay, that's why. Yeah, it's another Paul fight. Yeah, I won't be watching it either. You know. So, what can I tell you? I won't be watching it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Yeah. Huh? Oh, we got it. Okay. All right. It is time, baby. Let's switch gears. Let's talk a little Miami Hurricanes with Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
There we go. Time to talk with Manny Navarro. Yes, sir. The boys getting ready for a little Vautech, and we won't be talking anything about the game. All right, let's get into it. It's true. It's so true, right? Yesterday, they had the meeting with all the players, the former players. I was invited to go, and I chose not to go because I didn't think it was like my place to be there anyways, not my thing. Plus, I don't know, maybe my honesty may not have gone well if they ever asked me to talk. Yeah, because, they have this thing where they would like a former player to be the AD. And, I'm just sorry. I've been around football for a long time, and it always seems to me like the people that run football, they kind of want to separate church and state. And they like to kind of keep players in their place. And usually those kind of people don't want to include them in that mix. And I just have a hard time believing I believe the administration will listen to them and say, thank you for your opinion. But I almost feel 1,000% that you won't be seeing Gino Torretta or somebody of that ilk become the athletic director of the University of Miami. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately they're going to try to get the best person who's going to be the complete package. And Gino is a businessman, right? He runs his own broadcast company. And Alonzo has a lot of football personnel experience being in the NFL for 25 years plus already. I don't even know. It might be 30 years. But the point is, neither of those guys have ever run an athletic department. AC Tellison might be somebody who's more qualified. He's worked in the athletic department in the past. So I don't know. I don't know what kind of role. I know in the past they were discussing carving out a role for Alonzo as maybe a football czar,
Right.
a guy who's just in charge of football. I could see something like that happening.
Okay.
But I think ultimately this is about getting the guy who's best for the job, who's going to handle all the responsibilities of fundraising, inject some life into the athletic program, and then do a good job hiring people and have good connections around college sports and pro sports to be able to hire the right kind of people for this program.
Have you heard timeline? Because I would imagine that this has to be a fast timeline with so many schools in the mix for coaches.
Yeah.
Now I can't say a lot of schools in for ADs, but before you decide Manny's fate or replace Manny, you need to go get that man or woman to run this. So what is the timeline? Have you heard? And I would imagine that this has to be they got to have their list already working on it. In other words.
Yeah, I mean, all I've heard is that they're working swiftly to get this done, because in large part because they know the season ends in 2 weeks, the regular season ends in 2 weeks, and there's going to be a lot of action in the month of December with the coaching carousel and people moving around, and if you're going to really make a play for the quote unquote home run hire to replace Manny Diaz, then you need to already have that guy or girl, whoever it is, as athletic director, working behind the scenes with those agents and getting everything done, squared away. Talking about everything, demands of what that coach wants, what he expects. So I was told, in the last conversation that I had was a couple of days ago, was that they were working towards doing this swiftly. Now, could it carry until the end of the season? Yeah, I think so. I think there's a chance, just because of, when they want to make the announcement, and how they kind of want to maybe pair things up with whatever other potential changes, come this way at the end of the season. So, they may already have that person selected. I don't know. I just know from the people that I've spoken to that they do want to act swiftly in light of, A, they don't want to lose a bunch of kids to the transfer portal. They want to give them some sort of understanding of what the next move is. And B, they want that athletic director to already be working with the next coach or whoever's going to take over.
Names? Do we know anything? Have you heard anything?
Well, I mean, all the ones that have been thrown out there. I know people are talking about Urich from Louisville. What's funny is I've actually heard that that's the same guy that maybe FIU wants, by the way. The guy from FAU.
Yeah, he's going to go somewhere where they don't have money for uniforms. Okay,
right.
Sure.
That's a whole nother ball of wax.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, give me a break. Yeah. At this point, FIU needs to look for an AD that, maybe some old man drinking coffee in Versailles out there in Southwest Asia, something like that. They got no. I mean, give me a break, bro. You guys are. Wait a minute. You guys can't afford uniforms. You sure you can afford me? Yeah, that's what an athletic director is going to be saying.
Not to get too into the weeds with FIU, but from my understanding, I've started to make some phone calls with that because the Athletic wanted me to, and I think there's a little bit of fibbing going on.
No,
who knew?
Butch Davis lying.
Who knew, right?
Wait a minute. Well, wait a minute. Butch Davis lying?
Just fibbing. 20% truth.
But but Butch Davis has no track record of lying. He's never really been a liar. He's been such a guy. And some Canes fans have him like the greatest X's and O's coach on the planet, that he could have been the savior for everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So when's that article coming out?
No, that's a project, man. There's so much to go unearth with that whole thing.
There's so much
Pete Garcia and Butch.
That forget about it, bro. That I gotta know what pictures Pete Garcia had over the years, because man, you talk about stealing money without a gun and a mask. Holy moly. Pete Garcia is the biggest scam artist ever, bro. That guy was a disaster.
Let me tell you, last night, it's funny how that guy has had nothing to do with UM for a long time, and yet his name still comes up with all the former Canes.
Right.
And it's funny. But anyway, to continue on Miami's athletic director job, the guy over at FAU, White, that his brother's the AD at Tennessee, he's another one that I think is probably in consideration. I know they mentioned Chun, who was at FAU before. I think he's at Washington State now. I think, it's going to become a national search in some regard. Like it's not just going to be, hey, who's down the road at Boca Raton or who was there before, it has to be well thought out. I know that people have reached out to the administration and trying to get their name involved. So I still think it's very early in the stages in terms of interviewing everybody that they want to interview, but I think they are going to act swiftly.
Let's hope so. By the way, I worked with the equivalent of Pete Garcia on radio.
Who's that? Name names, Big O.
I don't know. It sounds kind of like Kakayud. I don't know. It just kind of sounds like that. If you say Kakayud enough, it kind of sounds like it. So I've worked with the equivalent of Pete Garcia in radio. Anyway, let's get into a little bit of Manny. What have you heard? Because what I don't want to hear is, well, we're gonna take a year to assess Manny and the staff and this and that, and I'm gonna lose my effing mind already at that point if you do that, because you're just wasting a year, and you just talked about the transfer portal, and it's gonna be an outright disaster, because if you take a year, then that means kids are gonna leave because they're gonna say, well, that guy's only here for a year, I'm out of here, and so it'll be a disaster in so many ways that I don't think they realize it. Besides being cheap, which has been the notorious line with you, well, are you, that's so what's going on with Manny right now?
Well, I mean, right now he's just trying to survive the season, I think. I was told he would get a chance to finish the regular season, and then at that point, they will make another assessment, based on how these last two games go and whether or not he coaches the bowl game and beyond. But I think even if he loses this weekend at Virginia Tech, I still think he'll be the coach the following week at Duke. At least that's my understanding of the situation, the way that they're handling it. So I think, look, you don't make the change with the athletic director if you're not intending to improve the overall state of the football program. That is what, you can talk about basketball, baseball, the women's sports. Football is what it's all about. And there's been enough people certainly upset, complaining about the situation, public embarrassment, where I think that I would be more surprised if Manny Diaz was still coach at the end of the season than if he is. Like he isn't. I mean, I just think at this point, the cards are on the table and they're going to do what they're going to do, and they're going to look for an improvement. Now, is that to say that?
Whoa, he muted. Wait, we don't hear you. 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 Your mic. There we go. Let's see. No. We don't see him. We don't hear him. We don't hear him. We can't hear him. His mic is off. I don't know. Mike, can't hear you. Can't hear you. Huh? Okay. Can you disconnect him and connect him and see if that helps him? I don't know. How are we doing? Let's see. Say something, Manny. Is he hearing us, but we can't hear him? Is that what it is? He can hear us, but we can't hear him. No, we can't hear you, doggy. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we can hook you back up again. Try again. Let's see. Say something. He hears us, but we don't hear him, unfortunately. So we're still not hearing him. Okay, let's see. So what's he's got to disconnect and connect? Oh, he dropped her. Okay, that's right, because I'm looking at the screen, not live. See, when I'm in studio, I have the live screen to my right. So that's why usually when you catch me on interviews, I'm looking to my right, because that's the live screen that I can see from my computer. When I'm on a remote, I don't have a live screen. I have what you guys have. I have YouTube in front of me, which is obviously several seconds behind. So I don't get to obviously hear things right live. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I see the video after a couple seconds later. So now we'll get Manny back on and we'll try to finish it. And yes, Dead Man Walking is right about right. Ruth Riley Hunter as AD. There you go. No opportunities in Florida for young people. State going underwater in the next 100 years. He is right about that. I think it won't even be 100 years, bro. I think it'll be 50 years. I think in 20 or 30 years, all of downtown Miami will be underwater. All right. Is he back? Because I heard the boop, boop, boop. Not connected yet? Okay. All right, we'll try to get Manny back on here and finish our interview with the man, the myth, the legend that is Manny Navarre. Please don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important. Omar Kelly will join us in about 25 minutes at 12:15. So we got a lot of questions for Omar, especially about facial hair. So we'll have some fun with that. Okay. Florida is for hustlers. You ain't built like that, Danny. Uh, young people do have to move out of the state and live somewhere else because their future homes. What you don't buy a home here for the next 50 years. Us old people, we don't got much left. Okay, that's different. But younger, yeah, you're probably better off moving somewhere away from the coast. Florida will be just fine in 100 years. The Bills will still have no Super Bowls. We got them now? All right, Manny. Let's see. Do we have you now?
There we
go.
are.
There we go.
I got an incoming call, and apparently it just knocks me off. So I don't know what happened there, but I apologize.
Tell those people not to call you when you're on. What the hell's wrong with them? Jeez.
I know.
God bless. They got to know priorities here. All right. So what were you saying there in the last when we were talking about Manny?
Just that, I feel like it's not out of the realm of possibility that they go for the home run hires and don't get the guys that they want, or don't get some of that cooperation that, hey, yes, we're really interested in the job. And I think there's still enough people in his corner that they could justify bringing him back, as far as people in the administration, people who like him at the University of Miami, and trustees, etc. There are people who still like Manny Diaz.
What'd you feel about the Lane Kiffin report yesterday from Slater?
Not surprising. Jimmy Sexton, I think, is his agent. So, Jimmy's going to take advantage of all chatter to try to get his guy as much money as possible and create a bidding war.
So you're like me. You think the media member was used yesterday?
Well, I just think in general, like,
in other words, do you really think he'll take the job here?
I was told by somebody who knows Lane really well that he's been interested in the University of Miami since he was the offensive coordinator at USC. That he's always had a genuine interest of, what if I went to Miami and that would be a job that would attract him because of what he knows, the recruiting base, etc. And the fact that he came to FAU and had success, the whole state tax, all that kind of stuff. I think there is interest on his part. Now, how much interest? Will he really leave the SEC? There's reasons for him to. I mean, he's never going to get past Alabama and Georgia. Like Mississippi, as good as they are, they're always going to have a ceiling that I don't think they can overcome there.
Saban will die. He eats Debbie's cookies every day.
Right.
So,
right. He could always pray for that.
Yeah, exactly. He's much younger than so he's just got to hang in there. I mean, Father Time eventually catches up to Saban at one point. You know what I mean? The man's got to retire. You know what I mean?
But Lane, I mean, what connections does he really have to Mississippi? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no, and I think, if he was really tied in there, if he went to Mississippi or he had some sort of strong bond, I could see him, not going. But
he's got no ties to Gables.
No, but the point is like he's left places before without really giving a crap. He did it to Tennessee, and it's just, to me, I think he looks at it as, well, where's the next hot place to go? And I think he sees more opportunity here.
I like Lane Kiffin. I just think he's using the media and used Andy in this case for this one. I don't think he has any. I don't think he has any interest in leaving Ole Miss. I think he wants to use Ole Miss now to give him a new contract for this. That's what I think.
Well, he could. I mean, look, that could always be it. But I do know from somebody who knows him well, who has said the Miami job has always been attractive to him. So,
sure. But is it still attractive when you're in the SEC and when you're in a school that will definitely provide anything and everything you need?
If Miami is really, again, and I told you guys this at the beginning of the month, I think when I had my conversations with the administration, if Miami's really serious about spending and investing, I think this job becomes a lot more attractive to quality coaches, because that's always been the hurdle, right? It's just they always act cheap.
Yes.
So if they're legitimately going to do it, then I think there's a lot of guys with big egos who think they can come here and be the big papi of South Beach.
Nothing wrong with doing that, bro. That would be fun. And knowing Lane, he wants to hit all the bars in South Beach too at the same time. Be a lot of fun. All right, what are you working on the Athletics so folks can check you out?
Well, I'm just gonna write something off of last night's event. Sort of some of the highlights. They're gonna put together that video and release it next week. I think Tuesday is the day they're releasing it. So I know a lot of Miami fans love that stuff. They love the nostalgia. And I will say, that there's something about being around those guys. Just like when the Dolphins greats get together, right? That you see the passion, how much those guys care. And it's kind of if you're a Miami fan and you're just depleted, inside from seeing this team struggle for so long, just hearing those guys and the passion they have and what they want for the program, it sort of fills your heart a little bit as a Miami fan, And I think it'll be a well-received video. I don't think, they tried their best not to badmouth people in that situation, but they also expressed that, hey, you know what? They want the sideline access back, and they basically got that cut away from them when Al Golden took over, in light of everything with Nevin Shapiro and everything else. So they want that opportunity to be back, and they each sort of talked about why, using different examples of times that older guys on the sideline would help them with stuff. And
didn't Randy Shannon start that crap?
Randy Shannon didn't. I think he slowed it down. In terms of the amount of access.
Yeah, I thought
Al Golden and the administration basically cut it off. Once Nevin Shapiro.
Yeah,
so
I remember Mr. No Personality started that stuff. Okay, it
started to slow down with him. The access started to slow down with him, but ultimately it was cut off by what happened with Al Golden and the administration then. And then, Blake James could have opened it back up. Never really did.
But when you have an insecure coach, you're not going to do that. And that's what Randy is. That's what Al Golden is.
Well,
that's what Manny Diaz is. These are insecure coaches, whereas secure coaches, they know what they are. They know they're great coaches, and they'll allow their former players to come back because they're passing on the knowledge they shared with them. So they feel comfortable that the synergy is there. The problem is the rest of these guys that came after, it's not their guys. So dude, you see it with Ed Reed. Like Ed Reed's there and you're really not using him to the max that you can probably use him. And why? Because Manny doesn't want somebody that could possibly make more of an impact than him on the team. And I think his ego gets in the way of something like that too. I don't know. That's just me. Well,
I think, look, in the long run, a lot of these guys just want to be connected. They just want to have conversations with the players. And I get it. Some of them are really critical on social media. We didn't have that, right? 20 years ago.
True. Very true.
So
Very true.
The impact's a lot stronger now when they go off the rails and get pissed off. So I can understand why a coach wouldn't want those kind of guys around his players if they're going to be nothing but critical. So that's why it's sort of a fine line that these guys are trying to balance, because as much as they love the program, they hate what they're seeing. And they want it to just get better. So
follow him at The Athletic, please. Make sure you subscribe there and support him and all the great writers covering it locally, nationally, internationally, and a great deal, as always, at The Athletic. Manny, you're a stud, brother. Thank you for taking some time.
Good talking to you.
You got it, baby. You're the best. Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. That is your Canes Wear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your Inter Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or intermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inter Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available, from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show. Judge, you tuned in to the hottest sports radio.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
Orlando, aka the Big O. He covers all the South Florida teams.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
Dolphins to the heat, well, you know what I mean. Monday to Friday, Friday Pablo in the...
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Show O's on the radio, the top's where we gonna go, Miami, that's the way we roll.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
On the morning show, Big O, no one has a similar show. Talk sports, talk plays, talk...
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Live and direct, because nobody do it better than Big O in the set. From sunrise, listen live.
When you're ready to purchase a new home or refinance the one you have, American Dream Lending will make sure your loan experience is easy with fast approvals and quick closings. With many loan programs and competitive rates, now is the time to turn your dreams into reality. Ask about special financing for veterans. They never charge an application fee, and you will work directly with one of their experienced loan professionals. Stop dreaming and contact American Dream Lending today, 786-802-1727, or online at adreamlending.com. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hour number 3 of the program. We are waiting Omar Kelly. He will join us at 12:15. We'll have a little fun with O. We'll talk about the Dolphins, and we'll talk a lot of good things. Let me wrap up something, because yesterday a report came out. I think it was Andy Slater. I reported that Lane Kiffin, I think Andy did the Lane Kiffin show because he was on 640, I believe. So he probably has a relationship with Lane's agent, because, you know, when you're setting up those interviews every week, and it's, you know, usually the agent might be involved, and then the PR department for the school and all that kind of stuff. So I know from dealing with stuff like that in the past, he probably had a little bit of a relationship. But let me explain to you what I believe might be happening in this situation. I could be wrong, of course. I don't think Lane is really interested in leaving Ole Miss. I think Lane wants to stay in Ole Miss. I think Lane wants to stay in the SEC. I think Lane wants to take on Nick Saban. I think he wants to beat Nick Saban because that's who he is. Plus, Ole Miss is going to spend, through the roof for him. They've proven that they'll spend to do anything to win in that school. Okay, that's been proven over and over and over again with Ole Miss. So they have already proven they have better resources than the University of Miami on a consistent basis, and Lane knows that. Now let me also remind you of this. Lane Kiffin left Tennessee, and it was a bad move for him at that moment. It was a bad look. You can't go to Ole Miss and then leave another SEC school after 2 years. And because you did the same thing at Tennessee. And if you're the University of Miami, let me put it this way, okay? And I'm sorry if I may insult some of you out there because you might be living this lifestyle and maybe it worked out for you, but I think a lot of times it's probably not a good thing. But let's just say you met your significant other when they were actually in a relationship. Okay? Not really the way you want to start a relationship. That you meet somebody that was with somebody else and then they left that person to go with you. And in that scenario, I would imagine it's only human nature. It's got to be in the back of your mind, well, he or she left them for me. Why wouldn't they leave me for somebody else? Right? And so Lane Kiffin, at one point or another, has to settle down. And whether it's USC or Tennessee or FAU, and now you're at Ole Miss, you kind of have to sell to people that you're ready to settle down and be taken seriously. If you leave Ole Miss to go to the University of Miami, you will not be taken seriously in that sense that, well, that's Lane, he doesn't stay anywhere and he'll leave. And if you're the University of Miami, you have to feel like that spouse that met that person under the wrong circumstances, and you wonder if those bad circumstances ever happen again, will it burn you? And so if you're the University of Miami, do you really want Lane Kiffin? Okay, yeah, you want him because he knows offenses. He can recruit. He's done well at FAU, and now he's done well at Ole Miss. Got a top-notch quarterback and everything there at Ole Miss. Okay, so obviously the guy can make things happen, but he also is not reliable in that sense because you don't know if 2 years from now, what if – I'll give you a scenario. What if Nick Saban decides to retire and Alabama wants to look for a coach? Do you think Alabama's going to come knocking for Lane Kiffin? Is there a possibility? There's a possibility. And do you think Lane Kiffin's not going to leave the University of Miami in a couple of years to go there? Yeah. So you have to feel like, okay, if you're hiring Lane, is he the guy that's coming here to stay here? Okay, and I know Andy does a great job. He breaks a bunch of stories. He's really, developed a really nice niche in breaking stories, and he's got a nice hookup, obviously, with the cops. So he gets a lot of the arrests and things like that. So he's done a nice job with the breaking story stuff. But that doesn't mean whether it's him or anybody in this business doesn't get used. And to me, that scenario smelled like a agent throwing BS out there because he knows that his guy will obviously draw the interest and that he can then draw more money out of Ole Miss. And Ole Miss will gladly give him the blank check. You know what I'm saying? Looks like the water's coming in a little too sideways now. It stopped a little bit now. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of a spray here. So anyway, I don't know if we can cover the mixer. It would be nice if somehow or another. See if they've got something inside, like a hefty bag or something that we can, break up and put it on top here. So at least we can save the broadcast. Anyway, so to me, that story smelled of bait, and they use somebody to get a story out, and that way they can wake up the people at Ole Miss and say, yeah, and I know he's got a couple years left, but you may want to rework this deal and add a little more sauce to it. And I think that's what's happening in the end when it's all said and done, because you also have to think about it. As much as a lot of us have talked about Lane, that may not be the guy you want to actually, if you're the University of Miami, you've had a major problem for decades now. You know what that is? You can't find a coach to stay. That's a problem. You can't find a coach to stay. So if you can't find a coach to stay, that's an issue, dude. And you'd like to get somebody that can stay. Are you sure that if you hire Lane Kiffin, he's going to stay? I mean, that part you got to ask yourself, right? That if think about that one, because I don't think people think about those kind of things. Because he's really not the guy that's going to stay there loyal to you. He hasn't proven that. And if he's willing to leave Ole Miss, then he's willing to leave the University of Miami too, at one point or another. I'm just saying. So I just think I think somebody got kind of used to get a story out there and to kind of stir it up. But I don't believe Lane Kiffin will take this job, because it might be detrimental to his reputation to take this job, because then it'll prove that, you know what? Everybody thought we all knew he was going to leave FAU. We all knew that he was just building back up the resume at FAU to take off and go to somewhere else. And well, okay, Ole Miss could be a destination place. It's in the SEC. They've got opportunities to recruit great players, and they have all the resources. So what more do you need? You're actually rolling the dice going to the University of Miami, because you don't know if they're truly committed all the way through. So there you go. I'm just saying. Let's see. What do we have here on the chat board? Don't forget, please, to smash the hell out of the like button. It is very important that you smash the hell out of the like button. We got 170 people. Let's go, man. Let's get that number up. Even up. Let's get it past 170, because I'm sure we've had people come in and out. Let's see. Don Shula, best coach the Dolphins have ever had. Right. We kind of know that. Lane is looking for the next best thing. Hurricane warning. I think he's looking for his next big contract from Ole Miss. I think he's just looking for more money from Ole Miss. That's it, dude. That's all he's doing. Omar said correctly during training camp that our offensive line was straight out trash. Got to give him that, though. Yeah, he was dead on target about the offensive line. And we're hoping that they would actually improve. And unfortunately, you're not going to improve with that coaching staff. That's for damn sure.
Hey, O.
Yes.
Adam Schefter reporting Eagles gave Dallas Goedert 4-year, $59 million extension. That includes a $35.7 million guaranteed.
Okay, so
that's probably what you're looking for Gesicki.
Right. Yeah. How much? 4 years, 60?
It's 4 years, 59, so pretty much 60.
Yeah.
With 35.7 guaranteed.
Okay, so about an average of 15 a year. All right. Because the 35 guarantee, it's a 4-year deal. So most of that 35 is going to be broken down into the final 3 years of the contract. The first year of the deal, they'll usually make it a smaller number. So like maybe 5, and then the other 30 will go. So that's 10. And then the base salaries that go on top of it. So it'll end up being a little bit more than 15 on the back end of it. But it's on average around 15. Hey, man, Gesicki, I like Gesicki, man. I'm not and I'm a Dallas Goedert fan. I wanted him out of the draft. I had Gesicki after Goddard. But either way, both of them, they're both excellent players. They both can get it done. The good thing is that Gesicki doesn't go to bars and get knocked out like Goddard. But outside of that, that's good for Gesicki that he doesn't go to bars and get knocked out. That's kind of important. You know what I'm saying? So good stuff there. Hopefully they'll get it done. Big O, some people act like Manny Diaz is dead man walking. No, he's as dead as they come. Yeah, he's dead. He should be, yes. He's past zombie. Yeah. If you muted Flo, it wouldn't matter. Big O, if we can't get Watson because of legal problems, is this Tua's last year? You know, I thought it was Tua's last year. I'm now starting to think that Tua survives. He comes back next year, and Flo doesn't. Now, if Flo comes back, Tua doesn't. That I can guarantee you. I'll go with that. I'll go with Tua's coming back next year. Flo isn't. But if you see Flo come back, then he got his way, and they'll trade Tua, and they'll go find somebody else because it's clear that dude dislikes Tua. The U is not relevant anymore like a Nokia flip phone. Okay. And it's relevant there, Andy, not revenant. I wonder if Big O and Omar are going to have another Gesicki debate today. I mean, I don't know if we have a Gesicki debate today. I mean, we've had our Albert Wilson, our Gesicki debates, our Jakeem Grant debates. Or what? Eichenberg, yes. Tua is just as gone after this season. Big O, did you get a chance to watch McCartney 3-2-1? I know I have not. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. Maybe I'll do it tonight. How many franchise tags do each team get? I believe it's one franchise tag and a transition tag. I believe that's how it goes. You get 2 tags. And maybe a dog tag, too, they can throw in there also. How many great coaches would you want to come here with Tua as our quarterback? What's the percentages? I think it's super high. I don't think Tua stops you from getting any coach whatsoever because if you get a real coach, you'll understand, well, let me go get a grizzled offensive line coach because I can get one since Flo can't. And you know what? I'm going to get some veteran offensive linemen to go along with some of the young linemen, and that way I'm going to create a real offensive line. See, last night I'm watching the modern-day version of the man in the box, and his name is Mac Jones. And Mac Jones has played really well this year, really accurate. But if you watch, okay, and last night when he threw that interception, they were talking about it, that he doesn't throw past 20 yards. He's in a box the entire time. And they tried to go past 20 yards, and they intercepted him. They baited him right into that pass, okay? And maybe that's why he hasn't moved to that next level yet as a quarterback. But he has played perfect overall for a young guy, really. He has done a really, really good job. But why has he done a good job? Because Belichick doesn't allow him to screw up too much. Because Belichick gave him an offensive line, gave him an offensive line coach, gave him running backs, gave him an offensive coordinator that knows how to teach a quarterback, gave him weapons, went and got a couple of tight ends, bought a receiver, so all of a sudden now it's a different team around the kid, and it makes his life easy. Tua has no line, has no O-line coach, has no offensive coordinator, doesn't really have a good quarterbacks coach. His receivers are constantly injured. He can only depend on one receiver and one tight end. That's it. Can't depend on anything else. Can't depend on the running game. It becomes a different monster. So Tua is not the reason why you're not going to be able to, bring in a good coach, because a good coach will do what Belichick did. A good coach will build the wall of Montezuma in front of the kid. That's what good coaches do. They assess the situation, and then they make the proper moves to complement the situation. And that's what they've done in New England with Mac Jones, and that's where they failed with Tua. They tried, but they failed in how they executed it and their plan. That's just the difference. And that's why you see two different quarterbacks having two different kinds of success, even though Mac Jones is the modern day man in the box. All right, let's get to a little Dolphins talk with the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly. Oh, how you doing? How you feeling?
Where are you? Are you in a video game store or a card collecting store? What is this?
You can tell he doesn't keep up with the show. Caneswear, bro. We're at Caneswear.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong with you, bro?
Kane, I know they got one up in Davie. Not that I go to Davie anymore.
It's the only one they have, Omar.
Oh, I thought they had one in Canes. Okay. I mean, in Coral Gables.
No, we're not going to say the name of that place because, of course, we're not going to do that to Caneswear. But no, those are two separate businesses.
Okay. All right. Excellent. I got to make my way up to Caneswear.
I love Omar, bro.
The video's good. Let's make sure that I can get some jokes. And before we begin, want to apologize to Landon Roberts because you got me in trouble.
You got yourself in trouble. I didn't do anything. I didn't highlight it or anything, bro.
No. Listen, you goading me.
Remember, we got over 60,000 downloads daily. We're pushing to 1.7 million a month. Okay, we are pacing for 20 million a year. We got a large audience now, Omar. Larger,
all right, let me finish my apology.
QAM and 790's got combined.
Let me finish my apology.
Bro. When you say something, it's going to travel.
While I made the point that he is Flo's lieutenant, and he is Flo's lieutenant, at a ridiculous argument that you were making about him talking to Tua about how, against the coaching staff.
Yeah, hey, kid, it's not you. Flo sucks.
No, that was not the conversation, number one. But I also, in the conversation, trying to defend him, said that he's the locker room snitch, which he is not, and took great offense to that. That's a very bad thing to say. Don't know why I said it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Be quiet.
Have you watched that guy hit people in the hole? You don't call a person. You can say he sucks or say he's not a good player, but you can't call him a snitch, bro. Come on.
A snitch is referring to when people are reporting back what's going on behind the scenes.
That's bad.
And I shouldn't have said that. That's not what he is. He is a lieutenant. He's not a snitch.
You got that, Landon Roberts? Okay. All right. So make sure you don't go. What's his name? Oh, well, the good thing is you're no longer in the locker room, so you can't suffer a Jason Cole, a Gene Atkins type scene. You know what I'm saying? So you're good there.
Let's go on. Let's move on. I've had my issues with many players, a lot bigger than Landon Roberts. I'll survive.
I know, but Jason Cole survived too, and he took a hit. Okay, for those of you that don't know, Jason Cole wrote an article years ago. This is 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I forgot what it was. It was a long time ago. And Gene Atkins was not playing well, and he was talking about his pay and all that stuff. And Gene did not want to You know, back in those days, it was kind of newish to be going into somebody's salary and all that because salaries were starting to grow so
Really?
much. Yeah, yeah. No, really. I mean, 40 years ago.
Yeah, no. When you mention players' money,
yeah, right. Yeah,
they
but no,
get sensitive.
no, but they've been desensitized a little bit
No,
more
they have
now.
not.
No,
No, they have not.
Omar,
No, they have not.
trust me.
Trust
Compared to
you. Trust me. I deal with them.
no,
No, they have not.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have because Omar, it's part of the whole thing nowadays. But in the early days, when it really wasn't talked about, like when Jason Cole was writing it, that it really lit them up, right? And so in the locker room, for those of you that don't know, Jason Cole was in a scrum there, getting his quote, and Gene Atkins came out of nowhere and tackled Jason Cole in the locker room. It was an ugly, ugly scene. And so, that's why I mentioned it to Omar that he doesn't go in the locker room, so he's not going to get Gene Atkins. That's it. So there you go. It's notorious.
You never know. I could get Gene Atkins at any time.
That's true. It might be Flo for asking about hair. So you were interested in his follicles today.
Listen, you know what? I pride myself in being the people's writer. If people are discussing it and talking about it, whether or not it's behind the scenes or not, I'm going to ask the question. If you've had one look for your entire coaching career, and Flo has had one look for his entire coaching career, I want to, people are asking and wondering what's going on with the changeup. First, it started with the beard. He went from a goatee to a full beard. Then it became, okay, he's growing hair on top of his head. Flo was always a baldy, but apparently he chose to go baldy as opposed to, it wasn't a
he pulls it off, bro. He pulls it off.
Yeah, apparently it isn't a I'm bald on top, so I went bald. It's just I was bald because I was bald. So now, as he revealed at my question, his son asked him to grow his hair, so he did. He doesn't like it, but he did.
You don't think it's a 2-game winning streak thing? While we're winning, I'm not shaving.
He started doing it during the losing streak, which is
okay.
So and I was like kind of like, maybe it's something he doesn't want to change it up until they start winning or something like that. But then he got a fresh cut apparently today or within the last 2 days, and the cut continued on what he's been building. And so I was curious. I am that reporter who, whenever a guy starts growing a beard, I become obsessed with it because I'm a beard guy. So I always said the bearded Chad Henne and the bearded Ryan Tannehill were the best eras of Chad Henne and Ryan Tannehill. And to this day, I will still say that. Even Tua, I don't know if he still has it, but Tua's growing a little beard. So, we'll see. I believe the best quarterbacks are the bearded quarterbacks.
Well, yeah, that's if you can grow a beard. If you grow that Patch Adams beard,
come on, hold on, wait a minute.
No. If you're growing that Ricky Williams, I look like a bum sitting on the corner like beard, don't grow your beard, bro. If you got patches and you can't grow a full beard,
let's be honest. We all have patches.
No, we don't.
We can just hide them a little bit better.
No, I don't have any patches.
Oh, because you're a hairy man. So congratulations to you.
Well, that's actually not a good thing either. But
yeah.
Right? And as you get older, hair's coming out of places you had no idea they could come out of places. Okay, that is not a fun thing. I mean, seriously, I get four layers. If I left the hair out of my ears grow, I can braid my ear hairs if I really wanted to. I just don't cut it. Don't trim for a couple months, and I swear to you, you'll think I'm doing it because I'll have those things hanging. You know what I'm saying?
When I got back on the market after my separation and eventual divorce, I realized that the women on the market, they need a manicured landscape.
Yeah.
And so I had to become I had to Kellen Winslow it, which is, back in the day, Kellen Winslow was a rare breed.
Right. He was a soldier.
He was a soldier. And so I had to shave off, and still do have to shave because women don't want it anymore.
No. It's not. Old school women love the hair. New school women want it.
Come on, Bugger. I wasn't going for the old school. Come on, bro.
I'm just saying. Well, you're not old.
I'm old. I'm
just
not going for old.
I'm just telling you what old people, old women back in the day used to look at chest hair as something sexy. Now they look at chest hair like, ew, gross.
Yeah, absolutely. And I didn't want the women who looked at chest hair as sexy. Let's just put it that way. Let's just keep it where it is.
I don't know. There's some, again, depends on the area you grew up in. I'm just saying. There are those women that do still appreciate a little hair.
Yeah, the Cougars out there. Yeah, you might be right. And the Cougars, no disrespect to the Cougar market. The Cougar market is a very good market.
There you go. If you're a single man, I mean, that's nothing wrong with that market right there, man. So you can
it's good eating. It is good eating.
All right. So did you find anything good in Tua not being limited in practice, even though it was a walkthrough yesterday?
Oh, he's throwing the ball well. I watched him throw the ball today. Obviously, he knows we're there, and he knows Tua's a very aware guy, and so he knows that I'm watching him, videotaping. He was slinging it, and he was showing you, okay, arm good, ready to go, and previously, this is how I knew it was an issue. He wasn't showing you nothing. There was passes weren't longer than 10 yards when he was having the finger issue, which is why I kind of sensed initially that, hey, there's something to this. There's something here.
Yeah, you were just watching those little short warm-up throws, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I got you.
It's not even warm-up throws. It's like playing pitch,
Right.
pitch and catch.
Right.
Now, today I put up some videos. Today he's slinging it. He's like, yo, I'm good. And I really think the rest has benefited him. The arm looks very good. Now he's going to need it to go in Meadowlands because that wind swirls, and that's why all AFC quarterbacks, they generally have to have good arms, because you play in Buffalo, you play in MetLife Stadium. In this time of season, the wind is a factor.
Yeah. No, you're right. There's no doubt about that. When you look at injury-wise, where are they right now? Christian Wilkins, how much of a concern is that for this game on Sunday?
It's a concern. He'll probably be out there. I don't think he'll probably be 100%. You might see some other guys like the Zach Sealer and who's the guy from New England?
Butler,
yeah, and Adam Butler take more of his reps. Maybe you'll see him in some limited packages, but calf injuries are very tricky. Now, obviously, Christian isn't running full stride, but it might be able to impact his ability to anchor against the run. We don't know. But Christian really only plays running downs, to be honest with you. He plays some passing down situations, but not really.
Offensive line, are we, somebody was telling me this week and last week too at the same time. I was different people, but I talked to an offensive line coach this week. He feels that they have no choice but to play Eichenberg at left tackle, but he has no business at left tackle. He's supposed to be a right tackle. He says Eichenberg will never be a left tackle in the NFL, even though he played that in Notre Dame. But he feels that the Dolphins are forcing the issue because they have no faith in anyone else playing the position. So they feel that Jesse is the serviceable guy on one side and Eichenberg might be their best option, but that he feels next year that Eichenberg will end up where he belongs at right tackle. Do you agree with that?
They don't have any other options, especially with Greg Little going on IR for the next 3 weeks. There is nothing else. Your only other option is Solomon Kinley, and as my colleague who I trust, he's not my colleague, but Alan Poupard pointed out to me today in practice, he watched Solomon Kinley watch practice from kind of the sidelines while everybody else was working, and Solomon Kinley's not even on the injury list. So what's that about? So that's Solomon Kinley's the only insert that you could add other than Bobby Jones. a rookie undrafted player. There is absolutely, unequivocally, no doubt about it, no hope for this offensive line. What you got is what's there. It's not good enough, and there is no reinforcements coming. I think the only change you can make is probably putting Robert Hunt at right tackle and moving Jesse to a guard spot. But if they haven't done that by now, they're not going to do it.
Right. No, I agree with you. That's probably the only other option
and
you have
can't
right
go
now.
back to Austin Jackson at left tackle, even though
Wait, this was his best week. He just had his best week at guard, dude. This was his highest grades at guard this week. It's a slight improvement, but God, this was his best game actually this past week.
I don't remember the game performances, but I don't remember the game now.
I'm just telling you by the grades they ended up giving him, and not that he's been great by
I
any.
don't believe in Pro Football Focus grades, but
yeah.
It's all me. If that's the best that you could do, it sucks for everybody.
I mean, for him, any kind of improvement for him is going to be good. But do you believe that Eichenberg is a right tackle, not a left tackle?
I believe that
I
believe that Eichenberg needs to prove that he's an NFL starter. Bottom line, he might be a guard.
No, I understand that, but do you think? Do you agree with it? Because this is a pretty experienced offensive line.
I'm trying to replace every single player on the offensive line other than Robert Hunt. Can't be done in one offseason, but
no way.
I'm
not replacing one of those guys until I get a real O-line coach to actually coach them up. And then
no. This is where you're wrong. This is where you're wrong. The talent is just subpar.
No.
And yeah.
Eichenberg had better coaching at Notre Dame, bro. I mean,
you said this to me in the offseason, and look where we are now.
Yeah,
I sat here and I told you that
Pepe Le Pew cannot coach right now.
I sat here and I told you all summer this offensive line is going to wreck the season. Yeah. And what happened?
No, it's wrecked.
There's nothing salvageable about this season, and I did a breakdown a month ago and carried it over to revisiting it this month on Tuesday. It analyzed the 10 issues that are holding this team back, and I really wanted to, and I wanted to revisit it a month later to see how many of those things are being fixed or being addressed or have made improvements and made strides. The team has made strides in every single one except for Tua's injury, because he's come back from the rib injury and then he had the finger injury. And even that is heading in the right direction because Tua just showed he has it against a victory against Buffalo that he contributed to. But every single one of those issues are being fixed with the exception of anything that is tied to and associated with the offensive line. Offensive scoring, offensive line, pass protection, offensive line, run game, offensive line. Anything that has to do with the offensive line is getting better. I mean, anything that doesn't have to do with the offensive line is getting better and showing improvements, which means Flo and the coaching staff are doing a decent job. But the exception is offensive line. If it associates with offensive line, it's getting worse.
So it tells you coaching.
They blame the run game issues on the changes that have happened at center, and that's fair. That is logical and fair. They are starting a guy who they claimed off New Orleans' practice squad.
Right, that's normal. That's understandable.
And he's your third center. So, and then you had to sign a guy who'd been out of the NFL to be his backup, and so it's a justifiable reason for why you were bad and are regressing.
Okay, but if I tell you that most of the defensive players, the young picks, they're all improving now, and Gesicki and Waddle, they play in spite of the garbage that's around him, but yet all the struggles are on the O-line. You think the coincidence is that they're all bad, or is it that they have poor leadership in coaching them? Because it's hard. It's near impossible to have the three worst linemen in the NFL. That coincidence tells me that you have no coaching. That's what that tells me.
That's fair and valid, and I'm not going to argue against it, but I thought they were bad last year too.
And they had a bad offensive line coach also last year.
Well, better than this unit. So
The only thing he's nailed in 3 years so far, and it wasn't him, it was Greer that helped him, was Gailey. Outside of that, he hasn't been able to pick an offensive coordinator, or he hasn't been able to pick an offensive line coach. He has really struggled. And what is it, Omar? Is it 7 different positions already at those 2 spots? Is it 4 different offensive line coaches, 3 different offensive coordinators? Is that the number we're at so far?
That is true. Yeah, that's accurate.
Years?
And I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, but he also, and I don't necessarily agree with it, but I understand his thought process. When he was firing people or replacing people in his first 2 years, we celebrated it.
I get it. But at one point or another, you have to settle down, Omar. You have to find, if you can't build a staff, you cannot be a head coach.
It's the same problem that the Hurricanes are having, and I think the genesis of the Hurricane issue is player development. Players are getting there and not getting better. And offensively, you can make that argument against the Hurricanes. I think Chan Gailey was not a problem. I think he was an asset. I think he really helped you. I think he, best offense is 1984, scoring points wise.
I'm with you, baby.
And I really hope that the fans who thought he was trash and garbage and pathetic and whatnot, I really hope they learned a lesson from this experience and situation and criticism. Because when teams don't score points, it's always the offensive coordinator, which is why Flo will never tell you who the offensive coordinator is or the play caller is, because he wants it on him, and that's fair. But yes, is my biggest concern about Flo moving forward, because I think he's going to be here. I really do think that this team is going to pick up and they're going to win games and they're going to get to 6 wins. And Steve Ross is going to say, I need to stick with these guys and blah, 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 continuity, blah, 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 blah. And we're going to get here to the offseason. Flo knows he's going to have to probably hire a better offensive coordinator, probably, and without a doubt, hire a better offensive line coach. He's going to have coaches leave his staff because they're jumping off the sinking ship, and he's going to have to hire new guys. And the question I have is, do people want to work for him, no matter how much money Steve Ross is throwing at the problem?
No.
And we'll see. We shall see.
It's already been proven in 3 years. That's the problem. That's it. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. And insanity is thinking.
I have actually written that line. I have written that line for a column regarding the offensive line.
I had blind-ass fans yesterday telling me, no, Flo will get the offensive coordinator and the O-line right next year. Really? Wow. Where's the proof to that, dude? You know what I mean? Like, he hasn't done it for 3 years, so all of a sudden he's going to get it right next year? Get the hell out of here, dude. And you just named it. The key point is what you said, sinking ship. So who's coming here for a guy that comes in on the hot seat in his 4th year? And everybody knows that if you're already on the hot seat in your 4th year, you're probably not
somebody who needs a job.
God. What?
Or a young college assistant.
There's the guy.
Which is what he has on defense.
A Joe Brady type is what he has to find.
Yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. Somebody who wants to look what Joe Brady's doing in Carolina.
He doesn't have a quarterback, bro.
Whatever.
He doesn't have a quarterback. What do you mean, whatever, bro? He doesn't have a quarterback.
They chose that quarterback.
That the head coach and the owner chose the quarterback. Not
they dumped Teddy Bridgewater for that situation, which I thought was just ridiculously dumb.
I mean, Teddy Bridgewater is just a guy, bro. And in Minnesota, they're complaining because they have no explosiveness in their offense.
You mean Denver, but yes.
They have no explosiveness with their offense because of Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is a jag at quarterback. When you use Teddy, Teddy's a backup, bro. He has no.
Teddy can win games in the NFL. He's proven that.
Oh, bro. The only way he wins games if you give him the 2001 Bucks or the 03 Ravens or something. It's so dumb. And all he has to do is facilitate. Teddy Bridgewater will never, ever drive an offense to be explosive, ever. Go look at all of his offense.
He won in New Orleans. Okay.
Dude,
I think Teddy Bridgewater is the baseline of what you need to win in the NFL.
My
And
man, in 5 games, I believe he went 5-1 or something like that. He threw like 10 touchdowns. Go look at the stats, my man.
listen,
Maybe 9 touchdowns. I can go.
do they have a winning record or not? I don't even know. Do
It's
they?
Sean Payton in a defense, dude, and
No. I'm talking about now. Do they have? Does Denver have a winning record now?
No, I don't think so. I think they are a losing record. I've watched them several times this year. Denver is not a good team, dude. They got a great defense, but they're not a good team. I'll give you their standings right now. I'm pretty sure they've got a losing record. Where are they at right now here? Denver is 5-5, actually. That's what they are.
Nah, it's in there. Here's something I want to discuss with you, and I just looked it up. I looked up every quarterback who started games, every quarterback from the 2019 draft, 2020, 2021. That's Tua's class. I always look at a crop of quarterbacks in the 3-year cycles. The year before you, the year after you. There are about a dozen guys who have started games. Only 2 who have winning records right now. Kyler Murray and Mac Jones. Tua, if he wins against the Jets, will become the 3rd, and Tua's generally had a winning record as quarterback. Why do you think that's so hard for young quarterbacks right now? Daniel Jones, do you know Daniel Jones' record is a disaster?
Of course.
And why teams just continue to believe that they can parade out young quarterbacks and sell them to fan bases when the truth is a young quarterback is generally going to mean a nice, healthy period of struggles to the point where Ryan Tannehill's early years is starting to look good compared to what you're seeing young quarterbacks do now.
Well, because if you don't have the support, Doggy, then it's going to be that much harder for a young quarterback. But if you are Ben Roethlisberger and you step into the Steelers, you can actually be supported, and you can just be that first year when they won the Super Bowl. All they asked him to do was, "Yo, kid, don't screw it up. Just manage." And that's that's what you need with Teddy. It's don't screw it up, just manage. We'll take care of the rest. That's kind of what they did with Big Ben that first year, and then Ben developed into the kind of guy that he developed.
I like those quarterbacks.
Outside of being an alleged rapist, but overall, you got to have support, man. Some of these young quarterbacks, they get into situations where they don't have the coaching, they don't have the offense, they don't have the running game, whatever, and it just makes it that much harder, Omar. That's what before you came on, I was just talking about the whole Mac Jones thing. Like, Mac Jones plays in a box. The guy doesn't throw more than 20 yards. When he does, he gets intercepted. And so, but he's played well. But Belichick knows what he has, right? So he keeps the kid in the box. He brought in all the weapons that they need. He gave him an offensive line coach, an offensive coordinator in McDaniels that knows how to develop quarterbacks. So the kid has structure around him, and it helps him. You look at Tua, he doesn't have that structure around him, so his record might be deceiving. Because if I put Tua on the Patriots, they're better than 7-5 right now, I believe, with Tua. Put it that way. Okay?
Yeah.
Because I believe Tua's the better quarterback. But unfortunately, he's not in a better situation, my brother. And that's what we have to look at sometimes.
I disagree with you. I think Tua what began the season in a better situation than Mac Jones. But yes, the offensive line is better. They have an established run game. They've got a defense that's playing good. And they've got a very accomplished coaching staff. So, yes, is Mac Jones in a better situation because of that? Yes, but I think Tua has better overall weapons, or when they were healthy, had better overall weapons. But unfortunately, the system is not really set up for this team to succeed because the offensive line is trash.
By the way, I nailed it. Teddy Bridgewater started 5 games for New Orleans. He threw 9 touchdowns.
How many interceptions? I don't have a problem. Dude, I don't have a problem with game managers.
Well, you're not going to win anything unless your team's a monster.
You're not. Yeah. And
it has to be your game manager is not going to win you a Super Bowl.
Name me the guys who there has to be 6 quarterbacks in the NFL who you could say I can win with those guys because they're ballers and not game managers. Yes,
Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Tom
Josh
Brady.
Allen. Who?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, Josh Allen, Dak Prescott. That's 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Who else do we have here? A young Big Ben, not now anymore, obviously.
Yeah, no, I mean,
not now. He can't carry teams anymore. His arm is done.
yeah, I mean, it's so
Had
okay.
it for a little while.
Let's stretch it to 8. Derek Carr is not a game manager.
The massage therapist also is he can carry teams, bro. He can ball out. Let me see who else. Who else are we missing here? If we're missing anybody else.
No, see, it's
no, that's it. There's only of those elite guys like that. There's only a few of them. You know, Kyler Murray has a little some to him.
Oh,
but
Kyler Murray. Yeah,
but he hasn't gotten there yet. He hasn't gotten there. He's almost there.
I put him there,
but he's close. He's close enough.
I put him there. He ain't a game manager.
No. He's a passer. No.
And I put Derek Carr on that because Derek Carr's got those fourth quarter wins.
Yes, Derek Carr actually can do it. That's a good one
So
too. I like Derek Carr.
You know, and we could talk about the Rams quarterback and Stafford. I'm curious to see what he does in the second half of the season, but
Stafford will have his brain farts, is what it is. When he forces stuff, that's the problem at times. And he had to do it a lot with Detroit, and I get it. He can't, like what he pulled this past week, he can't do that with the Rams. He doesn't have to with that kind of a defense. So he's got to be a little bit more disciplined. It's where he gets a little funky to sometimes, and he gets in trouble. But he does have the capability of what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah. So to get to the Teddy Bridgewater, I think Teddy Bridgewater is the baseline of what you need as a quarterback. If you can get a Teddy Bridgewater or better, you give yourself a chance. Now, yeah, you've got to have a hell of a supporting staff around you.
Exactly.
And you need that quarterback to put the team on his shoulders and win games, which is why I like Tua. I think Tua can put the team on his shoulder and win games from time to time. But you know, Teddy Bridgewater is the baseline. Teddy Bridgewater is a starter in the NFL. He's
a jag. He's a starter. Whatever. I mean, nine touchdowns in 5 games with Sean Payton, my brother. That's not impressive.
Okay, I mean,
it's not impressive. You have one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, in Sean Payton.
We'd have to look at what Jameis Winston was able to produce in those starts. But I mean, it's an interesting conversation, an interesting debate.
I mean, for me, he's all right. He's just a jag. He's just nothing special. Now, if you have a monster team,
are we going?
Right.
Okay.
If we have a monster team, then yeah, Teddy can get it done, can help you. But outside of that, if you're expecting him to go, you know, mano a mano against a great quarterback,
no. I mean, but we've already identified, what are there, 8 great quarterbacks? One-fourth of the time, you're going to be facing somebody just like you, which you know, you're going to be facing the Ryan Tannehills of the world, and really it just comes. I mean, we've seen this franchise do it so many different times. It's just get a top 15 quarterback. Let's do that. Let's get in the conversation of, hey, my quarterback can limit mistakes and carry me to victories. I don't need him to put on a cape and win every Sunday. You clearly don't have that. And based on what you've seen come into the draft the last 3 years, those are hard to find.
By the way, Winston has 14 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
In the same amount of games, or
less. Less.
No, less. No, that adds up. The averages out because
he actually has 11 touchdowns in 3 games. Some of the other games he didn't throw one and then threw one in the others, actually. And only 1 game with 2 interceptions, which, by the way, I mean, I don't know what the hell Sean Payton's got, but he's limiting that guy's interceptions. That's huge. That's enormous, bro. That is impressive. All right. Are they winning this week? What's the prediction?
They should. They can. 23-17. This is probably, outside of Houston, probably the only team that you're clearly better than in the NFL. You should be able to take care of business. Jacksonville too, but you got your ass beat by them.
It's all right, but Tua's healthy now, ready to go.
Yeah.
All out. Plus, really the key to everything, the entire season. You need to write an article about this. Okay, is our move to Sports Grill on Bird Road. We're 2-0. So it's really not the defense. It's not anything that's going on. It's not Flo growing hair. It's not you growing more hair. No. It's our move to Sports Grill at Bird Road.
It's
That's
those
why.
special grill wings. That's
That's
what it
it.
is.
That's it. And when the hell are you
I
coming
gotta
down?
tell you, I think about those special grill wings all the time.
The hell's wrong with you, bro? Let's go. Get on down here.
Listen,
Let's have some wings.
I need to see if they do delivery. You know, I'm not a big delivery guy. Jesus, I'm really not a big delivery.
You can Uber Eat it. You can Uber
Yeah,
Eat.
it would take it would take like 90 minutes for it to get to me, but I think it's worth it.
Well, you order ahead of time, bro. You look at the Uber Eats app will tell you it's 30, 40, 50 minutes, whatever. You'll see.
Yeah.
So
I gotta go.
You plan ahead. Get out of here. We love you.
All right, talk to you later.
Very good. The great Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Omar Kelly. For additions, home remodeling, or custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is the custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
Welcome back. We coming down the home stretch out here at Caneswear in Davie. Come on out here, man. Go to the website, caneswear.com. You can check out this hat and many other hats that they have there and all kinds of gear. You name it, Hurricanes, Miami Heat, Miami Dolphins, Inter Miami, Florida Panthers. They got it here, man. You can come on, Miami Marlins. Actually, I saw a really cool Marlins hat that had dual logos. It was actually pretty groovy. Overall, I like the new Marlins logo. I really do. I enjoy it. And by the way, if you don't live here locally and you live somewhere else, you go to caneswear.com, and if you order over $99, it is free shipping. So, come on, man, get on it and check out Caneswear. Make sure you tell them that we sent you, of course, which is a beautiful thing. What else? Oh, by the way, did you see the Zach Stacy story there, Sean? Because that thing is as disturbing as it gets. Did you see it? So Zach Stacy, the former running back, I'm not even going to show the video. All right, let's leave. I was going to show the video, but it's so disgusting. You can go see it yourself. It's so disturbing to me. But he was finally caught and arrested, and guess where? Florida, of course. So he beat his girlfriend. Stacy was arrested shortly after flying into Florida from Tennessee on Thursday night. Apparently, the dumbass doesn't know that, when they're like searching for you, if you like fly, you got to like show your ID and then you'll get flagged or whatever. So according to police, Stacy flew from Nashville to Orlando with the intentions of turning himself in and was taken into custody by the Orlando PD without incident. Zach Stacy was arrested in Florida, currently in jail, just days after savagely beating his ex-girlfriend in front of their 5-month-old child. And 30-year-old Stacy repeatedly punched Kristen Evans, the mother of his baby boy, in the head multiple times before picking her up and throwing her into the television as she begged him to stop, and the baby cried. He's a 5th-round pick, whatever, I don't care. They announced that they're charging him with 2 felonies, aggravated assault, and criminal mischief. I got to tell you something. I wish I was a billionaire. You know what I would do if I was a billionaire? I would just have fun, and I would create this secret group of men, maybe 3-4 guys. And I would flag all these guys that beat women around the country. And then I'd send those guys in stealth. And I know this is kind of illegal what I would be doing, but I wouldn't care. And I would send those guys stealth-wise to find these kind of individuals and beat them to the kind of pulp that, you know what I would do to Zach Stacy? I would make sure he could never walk again. That's what I would do to Zach Stacy. What I would do to his knees, he would never be able to repair them ever again. And then while he's in pain, I'm going to get a Louisville bat and I'm going to crush his nuts to make sure he can't reproduce either. Okay? And it's nice to see, by the way, because, I have a level of hate for scumbags like this. Any man that hits women, you are a lowlife. Okay? There is no reason, unless she's coming at you with a knife or a gun or something, and your life is on the line. But if you watch that video, that is as disgusting and cowardly as it gets. And by the way, you know who I would hire? I would hire MMA star Uriah Hall. He watched the video and he said, looking for a wife beater. Zach Stacy, anyone he's seen him? Looking to give an ass whooping on sight. I might even hire a couple of those ex-MMA guys. Okay? I mean, I would love to watch these kind of animals suffer worse fate than what they deliver to innocent human beings, because these are the kind of people that beat women, that beat kids, that hurt animals. These are the kind of animals. And I don't want to hear about this whole thing. He played football and maybe he has CTD. What is it? CTD? What is it? I don't know, whatever it is. You know what I'm talking about. I don't care. I don't want to use any of that as an excuse. No one deserves that. That poor woman, it's so disgusting to see that video. It enrages me too. Seriously. Like, I would pay to watch Zach Stacy get beaten to a pulp. I'm talking close to being crippled. Okay? That's what I would do to a guy like that. Because people like that, that's the only way they learn. That's it. There's no reasoning with animals like that. Saw that video. Chris Long says, who was Stacy's teammate, he says, woke up to Zach Stacy video, made my stomach turn. Crazy to play with someone for a couple years and you have no idea what kind of bull crap they do at home. It's not bull crap. That's a crime. Okay? Huh? What's that? CTE. There you go. Exactly. Devontae Adams said that Zach Stacy should rot behind bars. I agree with that. That they won't even hand him the jail sentence that he deserves. Put his ass in Rayford for 40 years is what I would do for something like that. I mean, it's a disgusting video. Zach Stacy is a disgusting human being. I wish the worst for him for the rest of his life. I truly do. Pat in Asheville says, U2 is releasing the 30th anniversary goodies for the Octoon Baby. I got a sweet silver lava rock bracelet, only 250 being sold. Very nice. I saw the Octoon Baby and certain albums. They have a couple of, I think it's red vinyl, I think they said. I read about it, and I know that it's its 30th birthday. You know where I saw the Octoon Baby tour? Do you know where the Octoon Baby tour started? It started in Lakeland, Florida. Bill and I got in my car, and we took out. Well, actually, we have a funny story about that concert. If I remember correctly, well, we used to do something in our neighborhood called You've Been Abducted. Okay? And so in our neighborhood, right, you know, somebody will pull up, hey, man, yeah, no, we're going to go to Burger King to go eat. You want to come with us? All right, great. You get in the car. And then a minute later, you'll hear you've been abducted. And when you hear that, you're like, oh, crap, I'm really not going to Burger King anymore. You're what? You're going to Key West for the next couple of days? And, you know, bags are packed, they're in the trunk, and you are headed to Key West, and you have nothing. This was a running joke in our neighborhood, okay? I'm not joking. I'm telling you the truth. People have been abducted to Key West. They've been abducted to Disney World. They've been abducted to concerts. U2 Octoon Baby. So there was a guy at the park. He's playing football, right? No, hey, man, Bill and I know where we're going. We're going to Lakeland. We're going to go see U2. And I go, hey, you want to pull an abduction? And he starts laughing, and he go, who are we going to pull it on? So we pull it on this kid. And no, hey, yeah, bro, we're going over to go eat some. I forgot what it was we told him we were going to do. I don't even think it was eating. I think it was something else. And he got in the car, and then the second I got on the highway, he goes, "Bro, where are you going?" I go, "You've been abducted." He goes, "No, I gotta be home tonight. This, that." I go, "Well, you can call him from Lakeland." He didn't even like you too. Yep. Yep. That was a running joke in our neighborhood. You've been abducted. Once once you hear those three words, you're like, oh no, oh God, oh man. And if you had any plans for that day, they were ruined. Maybe if you had plans for a weekend, they were completely ruined. So we abducted him to Lakeland, and that's where U2 and the Octoon Baby tour started, actually. And it was awesome because anybody that's been to the Lakeland Civic Center, I've been there so many times for high school state championships. I saw Miami High win a few state championships. What was it again? Lakeland Kathleen was one of them. Was it Daytona? I think it was another. I'm trying to remember the high schools that Miami High was facing, but I went to a few of those at Lakeland. And when we found out that it was going to be there, it was like, are you kidding me? Get an intimate arena like that? You know, that arena may hold 3,500, 4,000 people. Maybe with the floor seats, maybe you went to 4,000. I'm not exactly sure. Look up Lakeland Civic Center and tell me what the capacity is. It's small. It's small. It's a small square building, nice little arena there in Lakeland. And that was fun, man. That was fun. The Octoon Baby tour, to see it in that setting was absolutely awesome. And to pull an abduction, that was phenomenal. I mean, that was just beautiful. Big O, Scarface or Goodfellas? Scarface. Scarface. I love Goodfellas. Don't get me wrong. It's like a 1B. But, you know, come on, dude. Cuban. I'm Cuban. You know, Miami. I'm Miami. Born and raised here. I got to go Scarface. Even though half the film was filmed in Los Angeles, but still, I'm going to go with Scarface. Okay? So, yeah, I'll go with Scarface. But again, it's 1A, 1B. You know, one of those deals. Big O, how you feeling health-wise? Hope you're feeling better. Thank you, Anthony. I am. I'm feeling good. I can't complain, man. I really can't, you know. Another blessed day to enjoy life, man. That's all I can say. You got something for me? You got some information?
Well, it's now the RP Funding Center.
Oh, really? That's what it's called?
Yes.
Okay, they got a sponsor.
Since 2017.
They got a sponsor.
And they have a couple different venues.
Okay.
The Jenkins Arena holds over 8,000.
That's not it.
The UK Theater holds 2,200. The Exhibit Hall holds 2,800. And then everything else, Sykes Hall is 1,800. And then everything else is under 500 after that.
But what's
three other?
But no, what's the Lakeland Civic Center? It doesn't say that.
There's no more Lakeland Civic Center. It's the different halls.
But really, what they do? Break it up or something?
I guess I'm just going off what I'm reading. Here
It didn't. It's definitely not 8,000. It's definitely not unless they added a second floor to the bitch. I have no idea. I haven't been there in a while.
Let me look up and see what before 2017 what it was.
Yeah, because that's weird. Because maybe they broke it up into different things. I have no idea. But anyway, thank you all out there as always. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App and Venmo. The links are right there on YouTube. But if you're watching Cash Big O Show, that's Cash Big O Show. I should check my Cash App, see if I got any free Bitcoin, by the way. They're giving away, Cash App is giving away $2 million in Bitcoin again. So you may want to check it out on Cash App on Twitter, by the way, just in case if you want to check it out. Market has bounced back strong today, man. It is bouncing back super strong right now. The crypto market, that is. I don't really worry too much about the stock market, ladies and gentlemen. I am not involved in the stocks anymore. It's all crypto for me overall. But what do we have? A Nervos Network, baby. It's up to 2.7. It's up 14%. What did we say yesterday, right? Right in front of you, right? Buy the damn dips. It went to 2.2 and 2.3 and 2.4, and now it's at 2.7. So any of you out there, you're already starting to make a little money on that. Polygon's up 6.7%. It's up to $1.62. It was down to, what was it, 145, 150, 151 yesterday. So it has gone up. Ethereum is up 5%. So it's now back up to almost 4,300, which is a beautiful thing. Love it. Watch CKB go over 3 cents now by the end of the day. It'll happen. Crypto.com, by the way, is up 7.5%. It's already up to 54 cents. So strong what's been going on with that, man. Absolutely awesome. And let's see, Star Atlas went down to like the 13-cent range yesterday, as low as 13 cents. It's up to 14.56 now. So those of you that bought the dip, you're now enjoying a little success. So nothing wrong with that. It's a beautiful thing, man. Love it. All right. So we got a little look-see at the market. What else do I have here that I wanted to talk about? Do I have anything else that I want to talk about? Oh, by the way, do you travel to Ann Arbor at any time there, Sean? No. Any of you plan on going to Ann Arbor? Okay, so if you happen to go to Ann Arbor, I want you to know that Ann Arbor now is doing something that no city has ever done before. They are now the first city in America to require tampons in every bathroom. That's right. Keeping public restrooms stocked with free menstrual products, including pads and tampons, will be the law in Ann Arbor effective January 1st. City Council voted unanimously Monday night, November 15, to approve the new local ordinance, which city officials said is the first of its kind in the United States. We will be the first city to mandate this. Council member Ali Ramlawi, citing a memo from the city's attorney office, no matter what. So it's important for them, by the way, and the ordinance, by the way, applies to all buildings where a public restroom is required to be available to business, customers, employees, students, and other visitors. Violations can result in $100 tickets. There you go. So let me tell you a tampon story. What? I'm an old man. I have stories. I've lived a life. Things happen. So we're in high school, and we are in the middle of one of our skipping days, which, you know, I was a professional skipper in high school. And so we were headed to the beach. We were headed to, it's that beach on 81st, whatever, or was it just called 81st Street? I think that's what we called it back in those days, whatever it was. Anyway, so a lot of Hialeah people went to that area. So one of our guys did not have rolling paper, and he really wanted to smoke. No, I did not smoke, but he really wanted to smoke. So apparently he had experience with tampons, and that apparently that when you pull the tampon and or is it, yeah, the tampon, there's a little sticker that comes apart from the tampon, right? Apparently that thing is thin enough to roll. So there was a couple of girls in our group. We were like 12 people, okay? And it was 2 different cars. And we were headed down to 81st Street, whatever it was. It's Collins and 81st. That's what we used to call it, right? Is that what it is? I don't know why I thought there was a, no, it was the other Hallover was the one that we also went to. That's what it was. That's the one that had the name Hallover. I remember. So anyway, long time ago, man. But this story, like, I saw that headline and immediately I thought of that. So he goes to the girls, hey, any of you got any tampons? And they looked at him weird. We're all looking like, what the hell? Like, we had no idea. Like, we knew the story after he did it. You know what I mean? And one of them goes, yeah, I've got one. And he goes, can I have it? And they go, what do you need that for? And he goes, well, I want to smoke and I can't smoke. So again, people are looking at him like, what? with a tampon? That's people are going gross, right? And thinking there's no blood involved, so it can't be gross. It's just weird right now. You know what I'm saying? So he grabs it and he peels it off, and sure enough, the dude rolls it and he smokes his joint all the way to the beach. Okay. You know, the rest of us are getting the secondhand smoke. Well, no, actually only three of us. Three other people were actually smoking from it. And my man literally rolled a joint from a tampon paper. That was classic. That was a moment that I will never forget. It's just there are just moments that, you know, that they will be burned in your mind forever and you'll never forget it. And the day I saw a friend of mine roll a joint with tampon paper was, you know, just one of those things. Because apparently it is very burnable. I have no idea. I had no idea that that was even possible. Kind of crazy. Willie Duper Molina says, "You piss me off, Big O, but you effing entertained the dog crap out of me." Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Uber Beater says, "Huddle BKC, baby." Oh, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. BKC is not something we part ways with till sometime next year. I think is when we can start to enjoy some real profits from it. Free the Tiger King. Somebody is saying there. Plumbers everywhere are licking their lips except Danny. I don't know what that means. I have no idea. Did Watson show Omar any spas in Houston? Rittenhouse verdict coming in. Well, let's hope he's as guilty as hell, and hope he rots in jail. Did they find him guilty? Okay. All right. Oh, Pat Nashville says jury reached a decision not guilty. Wow. Pat Nashville is not going to BS. He's one of those guys that I've seen. See, I've dealt with Pat Nashville already on the chat board for what is it, Pat? Maybe a couple years now, right? And he's a straight up shooter. He's not going to put stupid stuff out there. Usually, Pat Nashville is a very responsible person. So I don't think if he says they reach a decision not guilty, then I would put a little money that Pat Nashville is not BSing us. So you tell me what happened if they actually did that. That is a shame if that happened. Wow. It's pretty disgusting. Well, then if he gets freed, then Matt Gaetz will hire him right away because Matt Gaetz already said he wanted to. Did you see that story? Matt Gaetz said he wanted to hire Rittenhouse. Yes. God. The stuff that goes on in this country, it's beyond me, dude. It really is. You know, I don't want to get too political because Matt Gaetz is like a first-class scumbag, and so is this other guy. But, you know, not guilty? That's what it is? Wow. I am shocked. Not as shocked as watching somebody roll a joint with a tampon paper, but I'm shocked. By the way, you never had that experience, huh? You never saw anybody with that kind of did you even know that you could do that? I bet not. You know how many of you out there that are probably stoners? You're not going to go, man, now I have a backup plan just in case. Although you know what? I don't know if how they make the tampons nowadays 40 years later if it's still, the same kind of thin paper. Yeah, it might be thick as hell now and it doesn't burn or whatever. I don't know. And you know what? I don't even know the brand or whatever. I don't even know. But it worked then because I saw it. I saw it firsthand. And I did not believe it when I saw it. I got to tell you. And because it comes off the thing, it has a little stickum to it. So it rolls perfect, dude. It's safe to say that this will not be the last time Rittenhouse plus guns, someone getting shot. No, I know, but still. Wisconsin is big self-defense state. Yeah, there was no self-defense there. But whatever. It is what it is. The best part was he was walking by the cops, And you know that if he was black walking by the cops with a rifle, there's no way he gets by the cops at that point. But this is our crazy world. Cash App, what name for you? You got to have a Cash App app. Oh, name for me, you mean? Big O, Cash Big O Show. Cash Big O Show is the address for us. Okay? If you want to make a donation. All right? There you go. That's the address. Cash Big O Show. Very simple. Thank you, Danny Drew. Appreciate it. Appreciate all of you. You know what? Let me check and see if there's anything new on. Let me see if I got any donations from my Bitcoin on Cash App. Oh, we do have donations here right now. John, thank you for Cash App. Love, appreciate it. That helps us. We get 100% of the donation there as always. We appreciate it on the super chat. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong on that. But we appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Very nice of you for sending in a little love on the Cash App. And let me see if I also got any Bitcoin. Oh, and also I want you guys to go to Cash App on Twitter because they're giving away 2 million in Bitcoin. You got to have a Cash App app. So you should get a Cash App account because it looks like Cash App's doing this all the time. They're also giving away like $1 million in stocks or $2 million in stocks or something like that. And you got to also retweet them and follow them on Twitter and all of that. Go to Cash App on Twitter so you can see it yourself and you have 2 chances to win, whatever, man. If I win the stocks, I got to be honest with you. I'm going to sell them right away and then purchase Bitcoin with it. So, I already have the Bitcoin sitting there on the Cash App, right? And like I told you, I'm never touching that Bitcoin. That Bitcoin, I'm going to hand it to my daughter. I mean, that's what I intend. That's my dream is to never touch any of my Bitcoin and then eventually hand it off to the youngin. Because that's what we had to do as parents is set up our kids as much as possible. That should be our sole motivation in life. Once you have a child, is to make sure you take care of that child every way possible, ladies and gentlemen. All right, that's it. What else do we have here that I wanted to talk about? I think we are done. I think we are history. We're in the archives. We thank Ira, as always. We thank Manny Navarro. We thank Omar Kelly. And most of all, we thank all of you out there for tuning in. Please smash the like button. It's very, very important. How do we get free Bitcoin from Cash App? Darren Lee, go to Cash App on Twitter, my brother. Read it. It'll show you. You retweet their tweet and put what they tell you. Make sure you open a Cash App account. If you don't have a Cash App account, it's not going to count because they can't send it to you. So please open the Cash App account first. Then go to Cash App on Twitter, and you'll see the 2 different contests there, one to win free Bitcoin and one to win free stocks. And then do what they tell you to do, and then, hope you pick up the cash, man. Hope you have the success. You deserve it. All right? Sean Stanley, sir, thank you. As always, exceptional work by you, putting it all together as you do every single day. We will see you on Sunday. And I hope I see a lot of you out there hanging out with us at Sports Grill on Bird Road, 11481 Southwest 40th Street. Our broadcast will start off at 11 a.m. with the pregame show. Joe Shad will be joining us. We've got Lee Sterling also with his picks, probably working on another guest also in the pregame show. So we got a lot of things to talk about and address. But most of all, I want to watch the game with all of you out there. So if you live in the area, come on down. It's right off of the Turnpike and Bird Road. Easy to get to, easy to get out and get home. And it'll be a great time. The most delicious wings on the planet. You're going to love the place, man. And we're going to have some fun. We can talk some sports. I want to high five with all of you, take pictures with all of you, have some fun out there at Sports Grill and Bird Road. So please, man, if you love us and you love our show and you support our show, support us out there at Sports Grill and Bird Road, man. We need a big showing out there every week to prove that this is the top sports show in South Florida, baby. And, of course, the top sports show for all of local sports. What's up, baby? Nice. And get it done. So let's see you out there on Sunday. You all be good. I love you all. You all be safe. It's rainy if you're in South Florida. Be careful wherever else you're at. Be careful all across the country and the world. I love you all. We'll see you on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern. Much love.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show.